ESPN Plus. And this weekend, the Titans welcome in their traditional season opening opponent, the Stanford Cardinal, who now represent a new conference in the new era of college baseball. After subpar campaigns in 2024, both teams are trying to revive in 25. The Titans and Stanford Cardinal take their first steps next on ESPN Plus. Goodwin Field, 71 degrees, sun coming through. Game 3 of a 4-game series, and the Titans trying to get back in the series after Stanford swept the doubleheader yesterday. I'm Mike Martinez. Robbie Loya is with me as well. And Stanford trying to win the series here in Game 3 and stay in line for a potential sweep with Dylan Smith opposing Joey Volchko. This is the preseason poll in the Big West, brought to you by NutriShop Brea. Santa Barbara and Irvine both having good starts Friday and Saturday. Cal Poly over at UCLA this weekend losing the first couple. And Fullerton and Long Beach, the traditional powers, looking to revive in 25. Our pitching matchup brought to you by Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. Right-hander Joey Volchko from Visalia opposing the Titans freshman Dylan Smith. Keys to the series and game brought to you by Embassy Suites Brea, who has answers. After sub-500 seasons a year ago, Stanford came out with a lot of answers and then winning the strike zone. And for the Titan pitchers, trying to establish control, kind of great. Did a pretty good job yesterday, but needed a little bit more help from the defense. Dylan Smith about to face Court McDonald. Court McDonald, Trevor Haskins, and Rentaro Sasaki. Charlie Som, Timmy Nadai, Brady Reynolds, Timo Becerra, Charlie Bates, and Tatum Marsh, the Stanford lineup. Same lineup they brought in Game 1 on yesterday. Dylan Smith for Fullerton, his Titan debut from West Torrance High School. In the dirt for ball 1. Coach George Horton is in the house. It's a wonderful sight. 2 balls and no strikes to McDonald. Robbie, how's it going? How was tennis?
It was a lot of fun. Cal State Fullerton, they went all the way. Final score 4-3 in favor of Sacramento State, but it was a good matchup. Happy to be back with you for more baseball, and I'm looking forward to see what Cal State Fullerton can do after dropping their first 2 matchups last night. And, I saw a lot of positive, right? I think that nerves truly played a factor, at least from the defensive end, right? And that's really what it all came down to, is just a lot of, fundamental plays that were just costly that, gave up 4 runs in the first inning against Negretti. And really now it's more so you could flush out day 1. It's in the past. Worry about today and continue just to compete every single pitch.
It's 3-1 now on McDonald. Takes a fastball on the inside for strike 2. That's 89 miles an hour from Dylan Smith, who spiked the first one, but now he's battled back from a 3-0 count to run the count full. 160-pound frame, 6'2" pitcher. And his payoff to McDonald is a fastball at 90. It stays up, ball 4.
And this is a little bit different, right? I mean, we saw it Game 1 more specifically with Stanford being really aggressive early on. They were just attacking. Again, it's just selective hitting. They're locating that fastball. Every time they get that fastball, they want to smack and smash it, and they certainly did so in both games 1 and 2. So again, a little bit of a different approach from McDonald, but I wouldn't be surprised as Stanford rather just continues to just be aggressive at the plate.
A great leadoff presence by McDonald, who now has walked for the 4th time this series. In addition to 3 hits, he has scored 5 times. He's at first, held on by Isaiah Gomez, with the number 2 hitter at the plate, Trevor Haskins. Haskins 2 for 8, and that ranks on the lower side as we see the Stanford batting order there. Because you have Jimmy Nadai, who's 5 for 9, a 556 clip. A couple of guys in the 400s, 2 more in the 300s. Trevor Haskins, number 2 spot. 2 hits, he's scored 3 times. No RBI yet. They kind of set up Sasaki to have all the RBIs, or a lot of them anyway. 5, and he's on deck. 0-2. Some count command here for Dylan Smith. And his slider there is fouled off into the Stanford section. Beautiful day outside. Crowd still filing in. Some tailgaters out this morning, as they were yesterday. 0-2. As Smith has checked his runner. Some bluffing going on over there by McDonald. Fakes going, and the pitch inside at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Haskins. Trevor Haskins, a senior, San Jose product from Valley Christian. There's the Titan lineup with Eli Gomez in center field, flanked by Logan Hart, who's a Titan debut today. Rest of the guys got in yesterday. Johnstone to Rosales with a turn to first. Not in time. On a 1-2 pitch, Haskins hits into a force play, beats out the double play return. McDonald is off the bases. The runner's still at first with Rintaro Sasaki coming up.
And this is what I want to see. Again, the fundamentals, and this was kind of something that Cal State Fullerton was doing more specifically in Game 2, right? They would kind of check and look up at the runner first before fielding the ball cleanly. So again, just textbook baseball. Johnstone does a good job making sure that he secures the baseball right into his glove hand, get it in time to at least get 1 out started here in the top of the first.
Helps out the pitcher big time, keeps the force play in line. Waldy Perez catching. Rintaro Sasaki seeing a fastball outside, ball 1. Yesterday, Sasaki in his D1 baseball debut was 3 for 9. And with a total of 3 hits, he knocked in 5 runs in a variety of ways. He drove in his first run in the first game yesterday with a ground out. And in the ends of Game 2, he had an opposite way double that really jumped off the bat. We've seen great bat control from Sasaki, who's now in a 2-0 count. 275 or 280 pounds on a 6-foot frame. Moved from Japan after finishing high school there, where he broke Shohei Ohtani's high school home run record. Playing for his father, who also coached Shohei. And last year he moved in for the spring season with Stanford, didn't play. So a semi-redshirt year. Although I don't think they counted it as a redshirt year. He just was with the team. Line drive over Lotta's head into left center field. Haskins, the ball hit in front of him. He'll stop at second. And Sasaki, again, that ability to go the other way with some force. And his 4th hit of the series.
4 hits and 10 at-bats, not too shabby already with 5 runs batted in of the season. And that's what we really notice from the left-handed hitter, right? I mean, every time that he's at the plate, I mean, he just puts barrel to the baseball. I mean, we've seen it the entirety of the series. And you got to give credit where credit is due to Sasaki. Just, you love the effort, and again, not trying to do too much. Again, at the end of the day, you just need base runners, and it sets up a perfect opportunity for your four-hole hitter to do some damage.
Dylan Smith, counseled by veterans Waldy Perez and Maddox Lotta on the mound. As they try to get him to bear down, it's not going to be easy. It's a tough Stanford lineup here at the top. It can be tough, even tougher, if you lose your focus. Charlie Som is the batter. He again catches for them. Checks up. Strike 1 on the check swing appeal down to first base. Our umpires today are Matt McMahon behind the plate. The crew chief, Rob McKinley, is at first base, and Jeff Clough is at third. No second base umpire. 0-1 the count. A little bit of a slider there. Outside for ball 1. Charlie saw him 2 for 7 this weekend, has scored 4 times with both his hits going for doubles, 2 knocked in. Also been walked and hit by a pitch. 1-1, slider again. This one's hit in the air to deep center. Lopez goes back, one of the few cans of corns this weekend for him, and with a strong throw that he did throw somebody out yesterday at third base, or second rather, and they don't run on him, don't test him here. That's the second out, and the runners don't advance.
And, you know, again, I mean, when you look at, you know, the scouting reports, right, it wasn't really something that Stanford was assuming that Eli Lopez was going to play in the outfield. They assumed, right, they were going to play in the infield. So really, they didn't really have any tape to go off of thinking that he was going to play in the outfield. But again, and we talked about it yesterday with what Jason Diedrich said. It was just, you know, his ability to make plays. And that's the guy we need, especially with, you know, a couple of injuries already to start off the season for this Cal State Fullerton squad.
Well, that breaking pitch was lined up by Jimmy Nadai. He goes right through the Titan infield to score Trevor Haskins. Sasaki going to third base on a double by Nadai. Stanford, for the 3rd straight game, scores in the 1st inning. They have a 1-0 lead.
Let's take another look on ESPN Plus. It was an off-speed pitch that was kind of going outside. It goes right down the heart of the plate. As for Nadai, just able to just drive that baseball to left center field for another first run in this one. And you got to give credit where credit's due to Stanford, at least scoring at least 1 run in all first innings of each game so far in this one.
We've seen a breaking ball and a slider from Smith, but Nadai was ready for the fastball. The first pitch was Brady Reynolds. He drives in Sasaki as well as Nadai to make it 3-0 Stanford Cardinal in the 1st inning.
2 RBIs for Reynolds on that 2 RBI single up the middle. And, you know, Smith, 20 pitches so far, 1 walk, giving up 3 hits. Pure, you know, of course, the freshman in this situation, 6'2", righty out of Torrance, California, attended West High School. Truly made a name for himself in West High School. And again, you just wonder if nerves comes a factor, you being a freshman, be able to step up. And, you know, the question is, too, if Derek Turner, you know, didn't have a high pitch count, especially replacing Jason Blood early in game number 1. You question if Turner would have started maybe game 3 or game 4 tomorrow. Just the time for Smith to make a name for himself.
A pitch grounded on a 1-hop to Maddox Latta, who goes to Rosales for the force play. 7 come to the plate for Stanford in the 1st. They score 3 and leave a man on 3 hits. Titans coming up against Joey Volchko in the bottom of the 1st.
Down there with the walkie and you're counting down all that.
3-0 Stanford after half an inning. Jimmy Nadai ended up with a single for the RBI and took second on the throw. If you're talking about singles, doubles, types of thing, single for Nadai. Joey Volchko from Visalia, 6'4", 220-pound right-hand pitcher, and he'll bring some power. He'll bring some force with his fastball. Right there, that warm-up pitch he just threw was 93 in a warm-up. One of the guys that got his feet wet in a big way, fully dropped in the water last year as a true freshman, finished with 53 strikeouts and won 2 of 3 decisions. He only started 6 times last year, so his inning count wasn't super high, 42 innings in 20 appearances, 6 starts. He did almost have 1 walk per inning pitched. He had 53 strikeouts in 43 innings pitched. He does come a little bit decorated because he spent time last summer with the U.S. Collegiate National Team. And another prospect on the big-time radar for Stanford, as we saw yesterday with Matt Scott pitching in the first game. And these guys for Stanford, or the Titans, starting a true freshman here in Game 3. The Stanford staff a little bit more veteran. And Volsko gets set to face the Titans here in the first with Eli Lopez, Carter Johnstone, and Jacob Shart. Shart DHing. Marcos Rosales, Andrew Kirchner, and Maddox Lotta, 4, 5, and 6. Isaiah Gomez, Logan Hart in his Titan debut, and Waldy Perez catching in the 9 spot. 3-0 Stanford in the first. Lopez taking a couple, and that fastball is 95 across the plate. Outside for ball 2. You know, when you have this kind of power, controlling the power, Robbie, sometimes is an important part of the equation.
100%, and you make a great point. I mean, Volsko's a guy, again, right, throwing 95 miles per hour. If you can command the strike zone with that velo, no doubt are you going to become a top MLB prospect. There is no doubt on my mind. But, I mean, this is going through all the scouts' heads, right? It just, yes, you can throw fast, but can you throw strikes? Because if you can't throw strikes, you're not going to get far in your career.
He throws 4 out of 5 pitches out of the zone. Came at Lopez with all fastballs, but missed 4 times. And now has walked the leadoff man. Carter Johnstone coming up. Johnstone involved yesterday, starting both games and making his 3rd straight start at third base, 2 for 7. There's Stanford with the lineup. And with the leather, Charlie saw him catching. Sasaki at first, Nadai, Becerra. Very similar lineup for them. McDonald, Bates, and Marsh in the outfield. Back to their game 1 lineup. Johnstone takes a fastball outside. Ball 1. Titan dugout trying to be heard. We need some of the fans to try to get on this pitcher who is struggling a little bit here at the outset. 2 balls and no strikes to Carter Johnstone.
You know, I like this, right? Johnstone, at least game 2, was batting in the 6th spot as a freshman. Now in the 2-hole. Like to see what he can deliver for this Cal State Fullerton crew.
3 balls and no strikes. And so out goes some, and over comes Haskins, and here come the rest.
I like this move, right? Just slow down the game a little bit for Johnstone. I mean, he was a kid that deserves to be in this 2-hole, right? Batting .286, 2 total base hits with 7 at-bats so far, including a double and a triple as well. This is a kid, and we saw it yesterday, right? That's patient at the plate, can go deep into counts, and that's what you like to see. An opportunity to waste some pitches out of your starter, you know, especially at that 1-2 spot. You're a leadoff guy, right? That's the simple facts. It's just you're continuing trying to get deep in the counts, allow your teammate to see, especially on the on-deck circle, what pitches he's throwing, relay communication back to your team. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if Johnstone, after a strikeout, after now it's being 3-1, I wouldn't be surprised really if the left-handed hitter decides to take another pitch just in case he gets what he wants.
3-1. Johnson takes an inside fastball for strike 2. Titans saw Joey Voskuhl twice last year in the opening series. They saw him the Friday, and then they saw him on Sunday. Another 5-pitch walk, and the Titans had the first 2 on in the bottom of the first. Chasing 3 to tie. Like a lot of the Stanford pitchers last year, Volsko had his ups and downs. There were some big earned run games against them last year. 9 in less than 3 innings at Texas Tech. 4 in less than an inning against Arizona State. And so you have a pitcher that's got a repertoire, but the ups and downs, time to try to jump on him and see if that psyche is fully intact. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jacob Shart, who had a good day yesterday for Fullerton. He was their top hitter after being the top hitter at .307 last year for the 24 Titans. 3 for 6 yesterday and knocked in 2 runs. Close, but not quite. 2 balls and a strike to Sharts.
That was the first off-speed pitch in a while. And you know, if you're Volchko, you know you're getting behind the count. You know you got to throw fastballs. That's exactly going through the mind of Jacob Shart.
This is where the Titans need to take advantage. That one read 97 coming in. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Shart was ready to swing there on 2-1. The Titans yesterday hit only 158. And you got to get offensive production if you're going to be in the hunt against a team like Stanford. They hit over 300 yesterday. They hit 280 last year with 55 homers. So offense is not really the reason they ended up finishing with a losing record last year. 3-2, third straight 3-ball count to a Titan.
And you're right, Stanford had a 6.53 ERA a season ago, and Stanford, no doubt, one of the best teams in the NCAA with hitting the long ball, especially when it comes to just extra base hit opportunities.
Got Shart. Pitch ended up kind of cutting right underneath his hands. It was 92, so I'm guessing kind of a cutter right there.
Yeah, it was such a nasty pitch, and, you know, Shart was looking for a fastball, and I see why. Volchko, again, mental game, right? It's just, he's been struggling, been going deep into counts. Already 17 total pitches, rather, with only 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. So, again, I like the mindset of Shart, right? You're assuming because Volchko was behind the count, he's going to throw a fastball. He said he goes off speed to full Shart for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Rosales at the plate trying to pick up Lopez. A 97-mile-an-hour heater down. Gets through Charlie Somm, and the runners advance. This is worrisome for Stanford. They haven't run into these kinds of pitching problems this weekend yet. Christian Lim was outstanding in Game 2. Matt Scott dominated for close to 6 innings against Fullerton, certainly the first 5 in Game 1. Inside, ball 2. A wild pitch has advanced the runners to second and third. Lopez with Johnstone behind him. 2-0. Infield staying back. Chopper, big one on the left side, and that's going to score a run. Now we get a late break to third by Johnstone, but he beats Haskins back to the bag to advance himself. RBI for Rosales, and that should be an infield hit. First and third Titans, they've scored a run, and they have the tying runs out there.
I love it, right? Poke the ball in play. What a great effort there, by the way, from Carter Johnstone. That is a situation where if you decide to take third, you cannot hesitate at all. So a good job from Johnstone. No hesitated. Was going for 3 all the way. Does a good job sliding towards the left edge of the bag to get in there safely. Put runners on the corners.
Andrew Kirchner lines up the first one. A fastball he deposits into right field to score Johnstone. Rosales into third. And the Titans take advantage of the count leverage early, and then some pitches more flat and more in the zone as Rosales gets his first hit of the season, followed by Kirchner's second, and Kirchner knocks in his third of the weekend.
This is what we've been talking about. Capitalize on opportunities. We saw that last night with a couple of walks, couple of errors. Cal State Fullerton today, it's the walks that are hurting Stanford. It was an off-speed pitch. Kutner on the outside corner takes it pull side to right field, brings in Johnson, and this is what you like to see. This is what we were talking about yesterday, right, Mike? Was Cal State Fullerton were down big early on in the games. They didn't really start their offensive production until the later end of the game. It was around the 6th and 7th inning where Cal State Fullerton got any offensive production, right? So to start early, this is a huge confidence booster. A big crowd rather here today at Goodwin Field, and again, you love to see the life coming out of Goodwin Field well early on here in this ballgame.
Tying run at third base. Go ahead run here in the first inning at first. 3 runs, 3 hits for Stanford in the first. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Titans with Maddox Lotta at the plate. There's a squeeze play on first base line. Tough play. They're safe all around. Rosales in to tie the score as Lada lays down a perfect bunt up along first. No chance, no play for Sasaki once Lada outran the baseball.
I absolutely love small ball. Let me tell you, Lada locating Sasaki, seeing where he was down the first baseline. Voltko was thrown off guard, didn't think that Lada was gonna bunt. What a perfect bunt, great execution, and hey, just like that, small ball works. We're all tied up at 3 apiece here in the bottom of the first.
You're still only one out in the inning with Isaiah Gomez, the 7th batter of the inning. 5 of 6 have reached. The only out, Jacob Shart, on a strikeout. 1 ball, 1 strike from Voltko now. One pitch. Bounce down to third. Haskins makes a solid play. Kirchner advances to third. Lada to second. And Logan Hart comes up.
You know, if you're Voltko in a situation like this, right? D1 baseball preseason top 150 starting pitchers ranked 36. If we're talking about pregame, or perfect game rather, preseason top 101 sophomores, he is number 5. And of course, you never want to see him in a situation like this if you're Stanford. But now it comes into fruition of what can he do to get out of a jam. And, you know, if you go look the other way for Logan Hart, his first appearance this season for Cal State Fullerton, a huge opportunity to turn some heads from that coaching staff.
Getting in for the first time this weekend, as Robbie said, 2 years at Modesto Junior College. He's from the Central Valley, from Turlock High School. Oh-2 pitch. Not quite on the inside. That gets a head shake from Voltko. Kirchner down there, third. Fouled off. Still 1-2. Nobody making a move out of the Stanford dugout except to retrieve that baseball. Nobody going down to the bullpen just yet, despite a 30-pitch inning from Voltko here in the bottom of the first. The 1-2 on Logan Hart's. Got him with the down pitch, and Hart is struck out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Titans cash in the 2 leadoff walks with 3 runs, leaving a man at third after 1 inning. 3-3 in game 3. So a 3-run inning by Stanford answered by a 3-run inning from Fullerton. And Dylan Smith gets to wipe the slate clean. All square as he begins his second inning of work. 22 pitches, 12 for strikes in the first. And, you know, he seemed to, we had the walk to McDonald, and then he got a force play, and Sasaki had a single the other way. That's a tough at-bat. Got a fly out from Sam. He was 1 out from getting out of the jam. But the 5 and 6 batters, Nadai and Reynolds, jumped on the first pitch, both of them, to cash in the 3 runs. And, you know, that's where a team like Stanford, you know, when you get to a certain point, you got veterans up and down the lineup, and they're able to take advantage of the early workload in an inning by a pitcher facing that tough top of the lineup, and 5 and 6 kind of come in and do their thing, and that experience pays off. As we get Charlie Bates leading off in the top of the second, Bates, Marsh, and then top of the order, McDonald quickly coming back up. 2 balls and no strikes.
And you got to look at it this way too. If you're Dylan Smith, deep breath, right? I talked about this yesterday. Win every single inning. Ty, You tie the inning, come back. What are you going to do to win this inning alone? And again, if you're Smith, relax a little bit. You know, nothing you could do about inning number one. You got a tall ball game. You got your offense that is backing you up. Continue to do your thing and just play baseball and pitch the way you know how to pitch.
Inside strike called on Charlie Bates. Back to work comes Smith. And got him with a breaking ball. His first Titan strikeout.
Absolute filth. 78 miles per hour on the gun. Are you kidding me? Absolute dirty of a pitch. And again, that's what you like to see from the freshman, right? Smith, of course. Played all 4 years of varsity baseball. Junior year, earned team MVP, Pioneer League all-first team as well.
Struck into right field deep, off the wall. Hard trying to play it back in. Marsh is really motoring. He stops at second. Steve Rodriguez at third put up the stop sign and said, hold there. 1 out double.
Let's take another look on ESPN Plus. Marsh knew all the way that it was going to be a fastball. A little bit late, but still strong enough. Shows off his power, goes all the way, banks off of the face of the wall for an easy stand-up double in the 9th spot.
Opposite way power by Marsh. Really jumped off the bat. No chance for Hart to make the catch. Had to play it off the wall. McDonald swings first ball and advances the runner. Rosales takes care of the grounder, and McDonald is out at first. 2 out, runner at third.
Now, speaking more about Smith, right? I mean, kid that's been playing baseball for as long as he remembers. I mean, his grandfather, Don Formiller, played baseball at Arizona, and also, too, I mean, his family just athletic in general. I mean, his dad, James, also played football, a former Bruin from the 1993 to 94 as well.
Number 2 man in the order, Trevor Haskins, into a force play in the first, came around to score. Smith got him for strike 1 there. Smith working from the stretch with a runner at third. And another one gets Haskins back-to-back strike swinging. Nothing in 2. 3 straight times, but not 3 straight swing and misses as Haskins holds up.
That was just a good pitch, good spot. Had a lot of life on that off-speed pitch. If I were Smith, I would use that again.
Another one. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It was a nasty slider Haskins was looking for it, though. But you kind of see Smith, right? More confidence on the rubber. Seems like at the first inning, wasn't too confident in the off-speed pitches. And it's not like he wasn't throwing it for strike. He certainly was. It was just more so just trying to get it to be an efficient pitch. And so far, he's proven that here in the 2nd inning.
Fastball that time. And now the count runs 3-2. All the way here with Trevor Haskins. With first base, couple bases open. Liner, left field to put Stanford back in front. Trevor Haskins fights his way off the mat on an 0-2 count to get it to 3-2. Would not chase those outside pitches, the breaking pitches, nor the fastball, and got one in the zone.
Haskins doing Haskins things, collects his first run batted in of the season. Just like that. Stanford, they're back on top, 4-3 here in the top of the 2nd.
And Rentaro Sasaki gets another chance. That's That's why it's even a bonus that Haskins got his base hit. Three hits, first RBI for Haskins, as Robbie mentioned. A ball one count to Sasaki. Fastball in the dirt.
I always love Sasaki's, approach to play. And the reason why I bring this up, again, this is just all playing chess a little bit. Trying to get his back leg back a little bit. He kind of took a look there. There's a big gap between left center field. It's all about pitch selection. His favorite pitch is the inside fastball. We see him absolutely tear off the seams of the baseball in the last few days. Just continue to be patient, waiting for his pitch that he wants to take a big hack on.
Try to catch him leaning out over the plate after he did go the other way last time up. Snuck a fastball in there on him. So get it to 2-1. Big breaking ball balloons up. 3 balls and a strike.
And too, partner, what I really like about him too is, like, everyone thinks, oh, he's a home run hitter. 140 career home runs, breaking Shohei Ohtani's record. Yes, unbelievable. Are you kidding me? That's video game stats right there. But again, Rintaro Sasaki, he's not looking to hit a home run every time. He's just trying to make good contact with the baseball to move runners over. And I absolutely love that mentality from a student athlete. He's young. He still has so much to grow, so much to learn in the sport of baseball, right? But again, scouts are going to love a player like him where, again, he's not trying to do too much. He's not always trying to swing for the fences. It's just more so just trying to do his job to score and runs, and you just love to see that out of the left-handed hitter.
3-2. Down and in fastball. Sasaki let it go for ball 4. Haskins now at second base. Here comes Jason Dietrich. There is some work down in the Titan bullpen. You're just not getting a lot of breaks here. Chad Gurney down to the Titan bullpen. You're not getting a lot of, not breaks as like trying to get lucky, but you're not getting a lot of easy outs here from the Stanford lineup. You get McDonald, but then Haskins come back and works an at-bat. That looming specter of Sasaki's always right there. I think Dylan Smith is doing a good job battling through it. He's come back after losing a batter, and he made a fair amount of quality pitches to Sasaki. Inside to get a strike. Didn't really spin that curveball down, but through a quality down and in fastball that maybe you get a more aggressive hitter. Maybe you get a swing and miss sometimes, or a foul off at least. Sasaki just did a good job taking it and taking the walk. Charlie saw him as the batter. He flied to deep center in the first. They pitched him a lot of sliders last time. And they'll try again. Ball 1 count. Nice and tight that time, right around the plate to get the swing and miss. Trevor Haskins, a 2-out RBI single to cash in Tatum Marsh's double. Has put Stanford ahead here in the second. Sasaki followed with a walk. Back to second and into center field. And then Haskins thought that Rosales might have had the baseball still, I think. Or otherwise was not going to try to run on Lopez. It's tough to tell how fast things happen right there. The post also got into my way too, but it looked like he might have thought Rosales had the baseball.
I want to see if we could take a look. I wonder if Rosales maybe made some type of like noise with his hand, you know, kind of clapping his glove to kind of signal if it was, you know, caught.
On the ground to Rosales. Takes care of the ground ball by Charlie Somm. Stanford goes back in front in the second. Titans can answer with one, go ahead with two. All right, we're back with the bottom of the second inning with Stanford continuing their good bat work. He's just nice and consistent, and I think Dylan Smith is doing a solid job continuing to make pitches. Like I said in the last inning, this is not an easy lineup. I think we're seeing so much quality up and down from Stanford, guys that know how to take a team that was a good offense team last year anyway. Joey Volsko back on the bump. Go ahead, Robbie.
No, I was just going to add to your point, right? I mean, the Cardinal hit 283 as a team. That was fifth in the Pac-12 a season ago with 296 runs scored. And, you know, the Stanford Cardinal, they have been known for being an offensive squad. I mean, again, one of the best power-hitting teams in the NCAA a season ago. And, you know, the thing that for the Stanford Cardinal was that last year they had a record of only 1 win in 16 losses when falling short of 3 runs. They have 21 wins or more when they score just at least 3 runs. So again, that's kind of what's been expected from this Cardinal program, is just that if they're able to produce a lot of, you know, the large amount of runs that we've seen the last few days, they're going to win ball games. And I know that's the obvious, but that's just the facts of what we're seeing from the numbers. So again, the offense is helping Volchko, but now it comes to just finding a way to settle in, continue to have that quick tempo, just to settle in and just play your game on the rubber.
Aldi Perez on top of the plate gets hit by a 94-mile-an-hour inside running fastball. Waldy was the only Titan that didn't bat in the first inning, right? He gets on base to start the second, bringing up Eli Lopez with a chance to start something and further something here. 4-3 Stanford on top, bottom of the second. Lopez walked and scored to start a 3-run game-tying rally. And Eli has that bunt out there. Squared. Take strike one. There is a thrower in the Stanford bullpen getting loose. He just took off his warm-up. He had just finished his heavy ball work. 1 ball and 1 strike on Lopez. So just in case Volchko can't gain some control here in the second. We still have a long way to go in this series. Almost all of game 3, and tomorrow we play game 4. Lopez turns on an inside fastball into left center, and McDonald can't reach it with a diving effort. Waldy's off and running to third. Lopez head first dive into second ahead of the throw with a double.
What a clean double. Let's take another look on ESPN bunt. Shows bunt, pulls back, and with all that power still, able to put it to the gap. It was a good cut there by McDonald. Just not enough reach. Eli Lopez, fist pumping in the air. Why not? 2 runners on scoring position with no one gone here in the bottom half of inning 2.
Second hit of the weekend for Eli Lopez. Brings up Carter Johnstone, who also walked and scored in the first. Corners in tight for Stanford. Pitch down for ball 1. Get a lot of urgency that we're feeling from this Titan offense. Cutter swung on and missed by Johnstone. 1-1 the count.
You know, too, right? I mean, to score this amount of runs early on for Cal State Fullerton, especially after the slow offensive production yesterday. This is what you like to see. Just get some life in the dugout. Everyone standing, everyone cheering up. That's what you like to see out of your dugout, and it's clear that the Titans certainly had their Wheaties this morning.
Number 25, Nick Dugan, a right-hander from Eureka, is warming in the Stanford bullpen. One and two. Volchko with a pitch, and Johnstone with a chase and miss. Down he goes. Third strikeout for Volchko. So the numbers hold true. The walks either right at 1-1 for innings pitched or close to it, and the strikeouts a little more than 1 per inning pitched, just as it was last year. 53 strikeouts, 38 walks in 43 innings. Shard had a strikeout last time. He pops up here on the first pitch to a very heavily dense Titan crowd behind the Titan dugout, as we see it there.
And to your point about Volchko, again, with him just being a sophomore, still a lot of production value, you know, from him in this starting role. It just more so just continue to attack the strike zone. But if you're Jacob Shard, right, try to find a way to put the ball at least on the right side of the field.
Well, there it is right there. Sasaki tags first for 1, throws home, couldn't get it without a tag. Waldy scores the tying run. Shard back on first base as the Titans want to contend that Sasaki didn't hit the bag. We'd have to get a second look. I saw him go back and reach for the bag with his foot and then turn and throw home, where they would have needed a tag on Waldy Perez. We're still waiting to see if that's going to be the second out. Looks like Shard was ruled safe after all that.
See, that one's just tough for everybody, right? Because there's so much going on with, you know, Sasaki just trying to get the out at first base. But, I mean, good throw, too. Trying to throw to home to get Waldy Perez out at home. So they are wanting to take another look on this one.
And this challenge was from David Esker because, and then that's how we know that they ruled safe over there. I never saw the call at first because I was following the ball coming back home as they try to get Waldy Perez coming third to home.
It was Rob McKinley that was making the call at first base, the crew chief. So again, you see Perez scoring, but again, they're looking at the challenge at first base. Was Sasaki still on the base at first? Was he holding on? From my angle, it looked like that he was able to get the out at first base. It's too close to call.
So that was after Shard. So that was after Sasaki had tried to get the out at first base, and Shard eventually got himself to first because I think he assumed he was out.
He thought he was too.
I assumed he was out. Safe.
Interesting.
Baseball is such a close sport so many times. It's a matter of inches. I'm sure it was very close because from here it just looked like Sasaki would have reached the bag, but we don't have that great vantage point like Stanford would have. I think they thought they had a pretty good look there on their first base side dugout. There's still only 1 out. There's runners at the corners for Marcos Rosales, who notched an RBI single in the first.
Will go down as an error from the first baseman that allows Shard to get on base.
An error on Sasaki. That's interesting. That's going to hurt his fielding percentage, but that's not really a fielding play. It's not a field or throw play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rosales. And I know people, we're going to have eyeballs here on Sasaki's results. They may not be able to catch the game all the time. They might just look at the results. Oh, he had an error. I wonder if his defense is not so good. But that wasn't really the case. He was actually trying to do almost too much in that case. Because I don't know, he probably realized there was a catcher running at third base, and he thinks he could get both outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Marcos Rosales. Volchko with the pitch, tight one. A spinner close to the zone, but not in, is inside.
And I like the effort, right? I mean, he did everything right. I want to go back and just kind of take a look because, I mean, and this is for everybody, not making a mistake like that. And I don't know, I wouldn't really count that as an error. I mean, he did everything right, in my opinion.
Matt McMahon really getting on the Stanford dugout for maybe the contention of balls and strikes. 2-2. That pitch hangs up.
And that happens, right, when your pitcher's getting deep in counts, maybe not throwing as much strikes as you would like to see. Not saying that the umpire needs to help him out, but Stanford just saying, hey, if it's close, you got to call it.
Rosales, the second titan of the inning to get hit up around the shoulders or ear flap, loads them up for Andrew Kirchner.
This is what I love to see, right? Rosales absolutely taking this one like an absolute champ. Are you kidding me? So yeah, I'll take it off the coconut. I didn't feel anything. Goes to the Titans dugout saying, I didn't feel a thing. Let's go.
That looks like it's it for Joey Volchko, who lasts 1 1/3 inning. Leaves the bases loaded, leaves in a tie ball game. And in comes Nick Dugan. Some bad luck, some issues with control for Volchko. And it's a 4-4 tie with the Titans threatening. It must help the Titan confidence on the offensive side to chase a pitcher so early. As Joey Volchko lasts only an inning and 1/3. The base is loaded as Nick Dugan comes in, a right-hander. 6'2" junior from Eureka. Dugan, coming out of high school in 2022, made the all-regional team in the Stanford Regional 2 years ago, where the Titans won a game and ended up being eliminated by Stanford. He had 24 appearances that year, and last year 11 appearances with 7 starts in leagues, 18 appearances overall for the season. Very high strikeout numbers. His first year, he was over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. Last year, not as much. That first year, he pitched in that Sunday game, the 21-13 game. That was his first college appearance. Not necessarily a happy memory. It was 4 hits and 5 earned runs in less than an inning. But eventually helped him eliminate the Titans with a win in that regional elimination game up at Stanford. Pitching almost 4 innings. He pitched in the Supers. He pitched in the College World Series that year. So Nick Dugan on in a big spot for Stanford. They're hoping to limit the damage because their offense has been so good. They figured, okay, if we give up 1 or 2, we're still all right. Just hopefully limit it if you're Stanford. Andrew Kirchner, I think he was first ball swinging last time. He takes a breaking pitch for strike one.
Yeah, and this is where you got to give credit, the benefit of the doubt, rather, to Cal State Fullerton is just getting deep in the count, right? Volchko throwing 49 total pitches. As they almost wanted to see if everything was okay. I don't know if it was a miscue with pitches, possibly, with Dugan, but, you know, Dugan is going to be a guy. I believe they're going to switch some signs, making sure everyone's on the same page. But again, to talk about Dugan, it's really for him. He's not the most powerful pitcher out there, but he does a good job of commanding the strike zone, right? Again, righty more so is just good when it comes to location to location. So not going to overpower you, but true ground out type of pitcher.
When he was here 2 years ago, in his first college appearance, he was a starter. And the Titans jumped on him early with that great lineup that had Caden Connor and Nate Nankill, Zach Liu, Brendan Bobo providing some power. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Andrew Kirchner. New team, new year. Deet said last year it was tough to have so much turnover, and that's typical of any sport. If you have a lot of turnover, and sometimes there are years where you have that because of the landscape of college sports right now, where there's free transfers, as Kirchner pulls an off-speed pitch and pulls it through on the right side to score Eli Lopez. And in comes Jacob Shart. Rosales to third. 2-run single by Andrew Kirchner gives the Titans their first lead of the series. Hanging off speed pitch, right letter high.
This is what you like to see. 4 runs batted in this season through 9 at-bats now for Kirchner. A 2-hit day, 3 RBI. So check that. 5 runs batted in this season right now for the stud, and this is what you like to see from the junior. Again, put the ball in play. Make the defense work a little bit. Score 3 runs in the first and now scoring 3 runs in the second. Finally, this is the true offense that we've been waiting for out of this Cal State Fullerton squad.
After 4 runs in 2 games yesterday, they jumped out in a big way here. And we talked about it yesterday, how the offense has to help their pitchers. Yes, the pitchers have to go out and establish something early. The offense has to go out and pull their share. 1 ball and no strikes to Maddox Latta. Still with only 1 out. 2-0 to Lotto. Volchko still responsible for Rosales at third base. To Lotto. Spins on in there. Strike 1. Andrew Kirchner. 3 RBI today after 2 at-bats. Fastball count. 92 on the gun. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Again, it's just setting yourself up. If you got opportunities, you gotta make them count, right? Jason Diedrich said, you know, starting 9, everything's up in the air. We want guys that are gonna go out there, gonna compete. If you're inconsistent, if you're not gonna compete, it's gonna be hard to find some time in the field.
Becerra got 1 out, but Nadai with a throw can't complete the double play, allowing Rosales to score and give the Titans 4 in the inning and a 7-4 lead. Becerra did a good job in the hole there. We're going towards the hole. And Nadai ended up pulling the throw. Would have been a tough double up anyway. Maddox Latta with an RBI, his second of the day. Kirchner off the bases. Runner at first, Latta goes. The pitch lined up the middle by Isaiah Gomez. Latta Keeps on going to third. A two-out knock by Isaiah Gomez for his first Titan hit.
What a call. Hitting runs on for Gomez. Gets a cookie right down the middle. Good viewership rather from Lada. Takes a quick eye, sees the baseball's going to center, no hesitation at all. Lada has a lot of speed. I was going to say, if he puts the ball on the right-hand side, the infield, with that speed, he's going to get there. And again, Lada, this is what you like to see. It's a kid, hard 90. That's what you want to see from your base runners. And once again, Lada proves it here today.
Ninth batter of the inning is Logan Hartz. Finished up the first inning with a strikeout. And Robbie, are we gearing up for another 21-13 Sunday afternoon with Stanford like 2 years ago?
See, the offensive side of me, yes, says yes, but also pitching side says no, because you know what? We still got another game tomorrow.
That's right. So 2 years ago, that 21-13 game started off 5-3 in the first. And then it slowed down for a little bit. Pitchers got going, and then it kind of exploded at the end. With Stanford scoring 7 in the 9th and 8 in the 10th to win by 8 in extra innings, which is unusual in of itself. 2-1 to Logan Hartz. Change up outside, 3-1.
You know, I like the timing off of Cal State Fullerton, right? Because Volchko was a guy throwing mid-90s, right? 95, 96 on a gun. Now facing against Dugan. And Dugan is a guy that, you know, again, not the most overpowering pitcher, but you kind of see how patient Cal State Fullerton is with the new pitcher on the bump.
A hanger stays up, and it's a 5-pitch walk for Logan Hartz. Nobody's throwing in back of Dugan right now in the Stanford pen. He's just trying to get that next out, which will take him back to the dugout, but it's now proved elusive. He's faced 4 batters, 3 have reached on singles. He got an out with Lada hitting into a force play. Waldy Perez started the inning with a walk, came around to score. Back-to-back innings, big Titan rallies keyed by a leadoff walk, and that's with Stanford in front both those innings. Strike 1 to Waldy. Seven runs on 6 hits right now for the home side. 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for Stanford. And Stanford would be out of this inning if Sasaki had been able to touch first base. That's a huge play in the inning. That basically makes so many of the runs unearned. 2 of the runs charged to Volchko unearned. And right now, with Lada at third base and the bases loaded, no one charged to Dugan yet. So 4 runs, 2 earned to Volchko. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, but Waldy has a chance to outrun. The pitch that goes all the way to the backstop. Lada scores, and the inning continues despite the strikeout from Dugan.
Just smart base running. But now my question is, I don't think that Sam wasn't expecting an off-speed pitch. And the reason why I say that, he's a really good defensive player. And you kind of saw that. He didn't square up at all to block that baseball. So, you know, Sam doesn't make mistakes like that. So I'm very curious to see if it was maybe a miscommunication between Dugan and Sam that resulted in a wild pitch, I believe they're going to put it as. But if you're Fullerton, great job. Just continue to pay close attention in situations like that. So it is a strikeout via wild pitch. But again, I'm curious about that. But again, good looks from Cal State Fullerton, scoring 5 runs now in the second inning.
1 ball, 1 strike to Eli Lopez, batting now for the 3rd time in 2 innings. Eli walked and scored, leading off the 3-run rally that tied the score in the first, and had a no-out double scored in this inning. 1-1. 1-2. Lopez patient and gets the count back square. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 runs here in the second inning. That's Fullerton in front 8-4. Boasting their first lead of the series. And baseball can change in a hurry. Your momentum, your general feeling of self. When you pitch well, pitch a little bit better and start swinging the bats and working some at-bats. You lose 2 games to start the series, but big picture would say, hey, if you win game 3, you still can square the series if you win the next 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. And that 92-mile-an-hour fastball just off the plate. Saw him try to steer it back in.
You see the frustration right from the Stanford dugout. They want to make some defensive changes on the left-hand side of the field. Huge opportunity here for the number 1 Sky.
Into right field to Marsh. End up turning the right way just in time, because it took off a little bit from Eli Lopez. The Titans do leave the bases loaded, but 5 come in. Fullerton now in front, 8-4 after 2. Robbie's coming back with play-by-play.
Welcome back. He's Michael Martinez. My name is Robbie Loy. It's an honor and a privilege that you are spending your Sunday afternoon with us today on ESPN Plus. Cal State Fullerton currently on top, 8-4 for the Stanford Cardinal. 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. As for the Titans of Cal State Fullerton, 8 runs on 6 hits, no errors, with Dylan Smith getting ready to rock for another inning of work. 2 full innings so far. 45 total pitches so far as well. 5 hits given up, 4 runs, all of which were earned, including 2 walks and a strikeout, with 13 batters faced so far as we get ready to the top of the 3rd inning. Nadai, Reynolds, and Becerra due up next. 5, 6, and 7 for the Stanford Cardinal. Scoring 3 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the second inning. For Nadai, already 1 for 1 today, including a ribby as well, with a hard hit single to left field. First pitch will be in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike for the right-handed hitter. Again, Nadai started in both games in the doubleheader yesterday. Entered this game batting .556, including 5 base hit and just 9 at-bats, including scoring 2 RBIs with a .667 slugging percentage. Again, Nadai is just a hard contact type of guy. 1-1 pitch in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again for Dylan Smith, 6'2", 160 pounds from Torrance, California. Long leg kick, deals off speed at 79 on the dot rather. Brings the count back to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And so far, this is what you want to see from Cal State Fullerton. Limiting the errors, capitalizing on every single mistake that Stanford's making, and we have certainly seen that today out of this brand new Cal State Fullerton team. Swing and a miss, down goes Nadai, and rank up another K. Dylan Smith's 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. 1 gone here in the top of the 3rd. Here brings up Brady Reynolds at the DH slot. Had a 2 RBI single up the middle back in inning number 1. For Reynolds, of course, 6-foot sophomore out of Bakersfield, California. Bats left, throws right. Sophomore gets set in the batter's box. High fastball, called strike anyways, 1 ball and a strike. As a freshman, a season ago, Reynolds appeared in 38 games, starting 31 while batting .214 with 16 runs scored, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 14 runs batted in. Popped up to left center field. That baseball's raging back. That wind is carrying, and that baseball is out of here. It's a solo bomb for Brady Reynolds. His 3rd of his career, his first home run, the 2025 campaign. Cal State Fullerton still on top, 8-5. That baseball just kept carrying to left center field above the Raising Cane sign. For solo bomb for Reynolds. 3 RBIs today for the kid. Next pitch is going to be slashed foul in front of the Fullerton bullpen. No balls and a strike to Timo Becerra. Currently a little bit cloudy here in Fullerton, California. 72 degrees. Currently 7-mile-per-hour winds, ranging from right to left here at Goodwin Field. Entering this one for Becerra, batting .286 as a senior. 2 hits through 7 plate appearances, but also 4 RBI day, and he laces this baseball right up the middle. Back-to-back hits after Nadai strikes out swinging. Home run to left center field from Nadai. Becerra ropes that baseball to center field, picked up by Lopez. Gives an opportunity to Charlie Bates. As Jason Dietrich comes out, and we may get a new pitcher for Cal State Fullerton, and we most certainly will indeed. You like what you see from the freshman. As for Dylan Smith, in his first ever collegiate appearance, 2 1/3 innings of work, 55 total pitches, giving up 5 runs, all of which were earned. Jason Dietrich, just some words of encouragement from the young star. Comes back to a new pitcher for Cal State Fullerton as we're going to set aside, take a quick break. Stanford gets one on the board courtesy of a Brady Reynolds home run. 8-5 Titan lead. We'll be back right after this. New pitcher on the rubber for the Cal State Fullerton Titans, Chad Gurney. 6-foot righty, a sophomore out of Garden Grove, California, attended Pacifica High School. In high school, was a 3-year letter winner with the baseball program. Junior year was first team All-Empire League Pitcher of the Year, All-CIF Division II as well. Season ago, Gurney made 13 appearances with 7 starts during the 2024 campaign. Wants to lower that ERA, had a 8.53 ERA with 20 strikeouts and 25 1/3 inning pitched. Comes in a situation, he's up by 3, 8-5 Cal State Fullerton lead after a little bit of a run parade in the second inning, scoring 5 runs. A lot of clutch ABs. Of course, for me, the one that felt like that started it all, at least the momentum, was from Marcos Rosales, just hit by a pitch in the coconut. But let me tell you, he took that like an absolute champ. And that fueled up this Titan squad, and truly I think that's what got going. And after that, that's when Kirshner hit a 2 RBI single to right field. The offense continued to make some work here today against the Stanford Cardinal. Gurney, first pitch will be in there for a called strike to the left-handed hitter, Charlie Bates. Bates playing in center, 0 for 1, struck out swinging, back in inning number 2 from Dylan Smith. From the stretch, Loops that baseball to left field, playable in time for Kirshner, to get down to one knee and makes the snag for out number 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Here comes Tatum Marsh, 6'1" freshman out of San Jose, California. Prior to Stanford, a 2024 graduate of Valley Christian High School, helped lead his team to 3 section titles. First pitch, ranging towards deep right field and foul ground near the bullpen, and it goes off of the tip of the glove of Hart. And that's always a tough situation because you're fighting against the bullpen with a little bit of the bump that kind of hurt Hart over there in deep right field.
And a lot of times, you know, it's like when you go to the dugout, the opposing dugout isn't really going to make a big move to clear space for you. So you have to manage that on your own. And Hart just missed that one.
Marsh will take a long stroll back to home plate, picks up his stick and ready to roll. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. The runner on first, Timo Becerra. Marsh was ranked as the number 8 outfielder in California. 38 overall in the state. Named 40th best high school outfielder in the nation, according to Perfect Game. For this one, Marsh batting .200 as a freshman, made 1 start, appeared in 2 games, was 1 for 5, including scoring in twice, also drew a walk last night as well. 0-2 pitch to Marsh. Lifts that baseball deep to left center field. Lopez giving chase, and that one's going to bank off the face of the wall. Lopez falls to his feet, rounding third. Heading to home is Becerra, and a RBI stand-up triple for Tatum Marsh. Stanford creeping right back. They get another one. 8-6. Titans still lead here in the top of the 3rd.
You know, you have a couple missed opportunities by the corner outfielders here. It's a tough catch down to the bullpen because you're dealing with a mound. But Andrew Kirchner's got to be over there helping out Eli Lopez a little bit closer. You know, if Lopez was not able to get up, that ball has to be backed up. If that's center field, that's one thing, but that's left center at the 385 sign. So, you know, you got to be there to help your guys. Potentially, what if Lopez wasn't able to get up?
McDonald awaits for the first pitch, a fastball and 89 miles per hour. Straight up Broadway for called strike number 1. As for Marsh, collects his first run batted in of the season. The 0-1 in the dirt, blocked by Perez. Presets a 1 ball and 1 strike, 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Stanford Cardinal. 8 runs and 6 hits, no errors for Cal State Fullerton. Court McDonald 0 for 1. Drew a walk back in the first inning against Dylan Smith. And after that, grounded out to Rosales over there at second base. The 1-1, big hack. McDonald swinging out of his shoes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, McDonald, 6'1" junior out of Arlington, Texas. Had a batting average of .325, including 52 starts last year for the Cardinal. At 29 runs batted in, slugging .411, drew a lot of walks, 23 to be precise, with an on-base percentage of .397. Was 3 for 7 in last night's doubleheader, including scoring in 5 times, including getting 1 ribby as well. Drawing 3 walks as well, and called strike 3. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner, rings up Court McDonald. Good effort there from Chad Gurney coming out of the pen, but not until Stanford. They get 2 back on the board, courtesy of a solo shot from Brady Reynolds, and also an RBI triple from Tatum Marsh. We'll decide to take a quick break. 8-6 Titans on ESPN+. Cal State Fullerton gets sets once more with the sticks. 11 batters came up to the batter's box in the 2nd inning. True hitting parade. 5 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 3 men left on base. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Titans here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Carter Johnstone, Jacob Sharp alongside Marcos Rosales. Each of those batters getting on at least once in this ball game. As Nick Dugan gets ready to go for another inning of work, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, none of which were earned, including a walk and striking out 1 as well. Gives an opportunity for Carter Johnstone to do some damage. A true freshman coming into this one, batting .286. Walked in his first plate appearance back in the first inning, struck out swinging back in the second. Moscato's California product, 6'1" freshman. Dugan sets, steals, throws, missing outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Johnstone, a dual threat, played 3 years of varsity baseball and hockey as well. The 1-0 in there for a called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sophomore year, named team MVP and also Silver Slugger and first team All-League. Batting average of 438. Including his junior year, named team and league MVP, Central Coast Section Player of the Year as well, batting .462, a kid that models his game after Corey Seager. Likewise for Bryce Harper. In the dirt, 3 balls and 1 strike for the left-handed hitter. Again, Johnstone, we got to see the youngster play in both games last night, was hitting from the 6th spot. And then next thing you know, comes in, works his way down, now in the 2-hole. And again, you know, we know that what Jason Dietrich kind of values, right? And that's just finding a way to get on. Doesn't matter how, find a way to get on. And I mean, you go back, right? I mean, with Waldy Perez, struck out swinging, wild pitch, goes in the backstop. You'll take it. Just find a way to get on. Production, especially the way Cal State Fullerton has been hitting today, they're going to come up clutch, and certainly so for Johnstone, drawing his 2nd walk of the afternoon, brings up Jacob Sharp.
These walks continue to be an issue for Stanford. That they walked the leadoff guy for the 3rd straight inning.
Total of 4 walks for the Stanford Cardinal compared to 2 walks for Cal State Fullerton. First pitch to Sharp in the dirt, ball number 1. And you know, last night we were speaking highly of Jacob Sharp because, you know, I know things weren't working well the way that Cal State Fullerton wanted, at least, you know, started off early on in games 1 and 2. But it just seemed to be that every opportunity that Jacob Sharp, he capitalized. I mean, you go back to game 2, 2 for 4, including a double, an RBI single to right field as well. And then, you know, you look what he did in game number 1 with an RBI single as well, including a walk, only getting 3 ABs, but getting on 2 out of 3 plate appearances rather in game 1. Again, we mentioned it right not too long ago. Just find a way to get on base, and most certainly that's been the case for Jacob Sharp the entirety of this series. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see something rolling with Lopez and Sharp kind of switching off as down goes Sharp, hit by a pitch, as takes a deep breath. We'll see if the trainers want to come out.
I think he swung through and contacted with the bat.
Shakes it off, deep breath. No matter what, still playing play, rather, still gonna hurt, rather, say the least. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Backwards K for Jacob Sharp for the first out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and now bring up Marcos Rosales. Rosales, 2 plate appearance today. Reached base safely. Infield single to short. Hoarded himself as well with the run batted in, hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. You see on your screen on ESPN Plus, Rosales crowding the plate. First pitch to the infielder, off speed, marked out 75 on the gun, in there for a called strike. Rosales entered this one hitless through 4 at-bats, drew 2 walks, including hit by a pitch once. So no, his batting average still at 0. But I want to look at that on-base percentage, 429. You'll take that any single day, right? And this is kind of where, like, right, Moneyball comes a factor. Get on base. You want a high on-base percentage as Dugan steps off the rubber as he fires over to first base. Sasaki covers first. Runner takes off. The throw a little late. And mark that a stolen base for the freshman, Carter Johnstone. He could do it all, picking up his first collegiate stolen base.
Well, you got to have a way to get people over sometimes without going back to just using the small ball with a bunt. You might not be at 0 outs and not be able to afford to use that out. So having guys that can take a base and time up a pitcher and put pressure on the catcher.
Season ago, Cal State Fullerton, 33 stolen bases on 49 attempts. You like to see you start off early, 1 for 1 for the freshman himself. Runner in scoring position, 2-1 pitch again. Vince hits Rosales, this time in the elbow. Shakes it off, shrugs his jersey a little bit, gets on base once more. The 3rd time already this season that Rosales is being hit by a pitch, but again, it's pretty high, and it gives up an opportunity once more for Andrew Kirshner. Already 3 RBIs and 2 base hits today.
Nick Dugan in that at-bat to Rosales. Breaking ball was kind of all over the place. It didn't have great command. He threw it once good, and then other 2 times it wasn't so good. Now we'll see what he has against a lefty. Kirshner tries to pick up Rosales. Good day for Kirshner with the bat. You know, sometimes guys need to learn sometimes lessons in certain ways, and you know, everybody's got to hustle to the ball in order to help out your teammates. And Kirshner might have been played way over towards the line a little bit. On that play, Lopez slips and falls, but that's a good lesson for everybody. That's a lesson for everybody out there watching, how you do have to run to the baseball and make sure you're there to help out your teammates.
Kirshner slices that baseball to left center field. That drops for a base hit. They're waving around. Who else? Johnstone comes around and scores. They're going to hold the runner at 3rd. How about that one?
Yeah, he's had himself a day with the bat for sure. And the Titans are going to need to keep on pouring on the offense because Stanford is always a threat. They have 6 runs. 9 runs right now for the Titans. Has them just in front. And you want to take advantage of these pitchers where Stanford, you get later in the weekend, you have a game 3, you have a game 4. You don't know what's coming. If these guys are struggling right now, the guys behind them might struggle even more. You got to keep the pressure on and score as many runs as possible.
Johnstone comes around and scores. Rosales, runner on 3rd. Kirshner, a 4 RBI day. He was 1 for 7 in yesterday's doubleheader, including picking up 2 ribbies. Continues to be on a tear. Multi-hit game now, 3 base hits for the kid. We're only in the 3rd inning. There is someone warming up in the Stanford Cardinal bullpen. Maddox Latta already has 2 RBIs today, 1 for 2 with a single. It was a bunt single for an RBI. Then a fielder's choice via 6-4 also claimed another RBI. As we will certainly get a new pitcher for the Stanford Cardinal. Certainly been a battle between both of these 2 squads, exchanging runs left and right. The Titans have runners on 3rd and 2nd with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd when we return on ESPN+. New pitcher for the Stanford Cardinal, the 6-foot sophomore, the righty himself, Ryan Speshvak, comes into this one with runners on third and second. Take a look at his numbers. Made 17 appearances, including 5 starts, compiling a 7.53 ERA over 34 and 2/3 innings of work. Struck out 36 batters to average 9.35 strikeouts per game, while limiting opponents to just a 237 batting average. Made 6 appearances in Pac-12 play, including 2 starts, striking out 16 batters in 12 innings of work, all from a freshman. Shredded 7 of his 11 inherited runners out with a bullpen. A little bit of a tale for Speshvak, a gentleman who made his collegiate debut against, you guessed it, Cal State Fullerton back on February 16th of last season. In high school, set a high school single-game strikeout record 18 and finished single-season strikeout record with 118. Dos Pueblos High School. He was also through 2 no-hitters in high school, ranked number 18 right-handed pitcher in the state of California, number 50 player overall according to Perfect Game. His father also played baseball at Westmont College. Can't forget to add to his resume, also has pitched for the national team, competed with USA 16U/17U national team development program. And it gives an opportunity for Maddox Latta to do more damage. 1 out with runner on third and second. 2 RBIs as Sasaki playing in. Latta puts a whole lot of this one in this swing, and it goes all the way towards the backstop and fouled right in front of the Stanford Cardinal dugout. No balls and a strike for the infielder. Latta entered this one batting .286. 2 hits in total of 7 ABs, and once again, same pitch, same location, fouled away once more near the Stanford Cardinal dugout. And again, for the Stanford Cardinal, we knew their pitching staff, their starting rotation rather, clearly one of the best in the NCAA, let alone in the ACC. Now it comes to a question what their relieving staff can do, and kind of the same situation for Cal State Fullerton as well. The 0-2, fastball called, strike 3, as Maddox Latta can't believe it. 2 outs, both striking out looking, and it gives an opportunity for Isaiah Gomez. Anywhere in the outfield, could easily score 2 ribbies here. Gomez. 1 for 2, singled up the middle back in the second inning. Grounded out to Haskins over there at third. First pitch gets away from some, and here comes Rosales. Showing off the speed. Cal State Fullerton, they score another 10-6 Titan lead here in the bottom of the third.
It's an inside pitch. Probably should be caught there. Got a veteran behind the plate. Just kind of a miss. Pass ball.
Pass ball allows Rosales to score. Advancing from second to third is Kushner. The 1-1. Big cut from Gomez. Gomez had 1 start, was hitless, including a strikeout. In game 2, he's at the batting in the 8th spot, now in the 7th spot. The 1-2. Flare to right center field. That drops for a base hit. Kushner comes and scores an RBI single for Isaiah Gomez. 11-6, Titan lead here in the bottom of the third.
Two hits for Gomez now. Take him any way you can get him. They can't cover all the green out there. The Titans 3 consecutive big innings, 3, 5, and 3.
Short-term memory, right? You're hitless 0 for 4, you know, in your debut, at least for the new season for the junior. As for Logan Hart, shows bunt, showing off his speed. But Haskins in there in time with the perfect throw on the run to get the third and final out. But not until Cal State Fullerton. They score 3 runs, including key hits from Kushner, likewise for Johnstone getting on via walk, and Rosales, but Isaiah Gomez punches it home for the Titans. 3 runs, 11-6, Titan lead. We'll be back after this on ESPN+. Most certainly been an exchange of runs back and forth here in Goodwin Field. Take a look at the line score already through 3, 11-6. Runs keep pouring on. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Cardinal. 11 runs on 8 hits as well for Cal State Fullerton. And, you know, I know the hits are the same at 8 apiece, but really it just been the walks. 4 walks, a couple of hit by pitches as well. 2 from Rosales, already hit by a pitch in 3 at-bats in the season already. But it doesn't matter. They got ice for him. Top of the 4th inning we go, 11-6 in favor of the Titans as Chad Gurney back for another inning of work. Again, the final pitching stat for Dylan Smith, 2 1/3, 55 total pitches. First hack, it's a 1-hop right to the shortstop. Lotta filled it up cleanly across the diamond. He goes for a 6-3 ground out for a quick out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Down goes Haskins. It gives up an opportunity now for, you know it, Rentaro Sasaki. As time has been called, they want to check the gear of Waldy Perez. Just wants to check his chest protector. And again, Rentaro Sasaki was on an absolute tear, batting .333 for his first 2 games, 3 total base hits and 9 at-bats. 5 RBIs, 2 for the freshman. We know the power that he has. Everyone's awaiting for, of course, his first collegiate home run. I wouldn't be surprised it comes soon. So far into this one, 1 for 1 rather. As he singled up the middle, got on via walk back in the 2nd inning. Batting .400 now, 3 runs, 5 runs batted in so far for the youngster. Gurney working from the windup, high leg kick, deals home, in there. No balls and 2 strikes for the left-handed hitter. Charlie Somm will be on deck. Sasaki gets ready to go. Good eye. Again, for the left-handed hitter, what just makes him so efficient at the plate, right? Doesn't strike out too often, only once so far. There are 11 at-bats as he slices that baseball in between. Rosales at second, and it goes all the way to left field for a base hit. Second base hit today for Sasaki, and he's getting on for the 3rd time in all 3 plate appearances today. Let's take another look on ESPN Plus. Again, I said it once, I'll say it again. Just not trying to do too much. Put the ball in play. Already a high on-base percentage, and rightfully so. First pitch will miss to Charlie Somm, 0 for 2 today. In the 1st inning, flew out to Eli Lopez in center, and then grounded out to Rosales at 2nd base. 1 ball, no strikes for the right-handed hitter. Carried a hitting streak from the 2024 campaign. And again, kind of reminds me a little bit of a Court McDonald, a student athlete that just continues to find a way to get on base. One ball, one strike, one out here in the top of the fourth inning. Gurney deals. It's a high fly ball deep to right field. Hart carries back near the Stanford Cardinal bullpen, and he makes the grab in foul territory for out number 2 in the top of the fourth. Here comes Jimmy Nadai. Like what you're seeing from Logan Hart, 6'3" junior out of Modesto Junior College. Gentleman that models his game after Corbin Carroll. First pitch to Nadai. Off-speed pitch in the dirt, gets him to whiff. No balls and a strike for the right-handed hitter. Logan Hart attended Turlock High School. Played 2 years of varsity baseball and 2 years of varsity football as well. Gurney with the 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Gurney's that type of pitcher, right? We're going to see a lot of him more this season. Again, you look back at what he did last year, again, having 13 appearances, 7 starts. Again, it's just trying to get reps for these guys. Derek Turner, who came on a relief, likewise for Gurney. 2 top candidates, rather, that can easily get the starting nod. Again, a lot to look forward to this season with the Big West Championships being hosted here at Goodwin Field. How about that one? Rank up another K. Chad Gurney gets it done once more. Fire me up, why don't ya? First time from both sides. Finally scoreless. In the top half of the fourth, 11-6, Titan lead. We'll be back right after this on ESPN Plus. Welcome back. A beautiful day here in Goodwin Field. You see the crowd. A gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Fullerton, California. A cool 71 degrees. Happy that baseball's back, right? We've been waiting, we've been itching for some baseball here back in Goodwin Field. Game 1 of this matchup was postponed due to the rainstorm we had on Thursday night. Carried into Friday morning, but guess what? We're back. Baseball's back. Cal State Fullerton was the only team in the Big West Conference that was left to be played. As the tradition continues, the 4th straight year that Cal State Fullerton and the Stanford Cardinal playing against each other. Gives an opportunity now. 9-1-2. Waldy Perez, Eli Lopez, and Carter Johnstone. Up here in the bottom of the 4th inning again. Stanford scoreless for the first time in this matchup in the top of the 4th. Rather scoreless for either side. First pitch thrown by the righty Speshvak. Goes ahead and hits the inner half of Waldy Perez. He trots his way to first base, and just like that, 1 pitch and a runner on first base for the Titans here in the bottom of the 4th. Eli Lopez already reached 2 out of his 3 plate appearances this afternoon. Walked back in the 1st inning, double to left field. And both of those 2 times he reached on base. Got to come around and score. Batting 250, shows butt, pulls back an inside fastball missing. 1 ball and no strikes for the center fielder. Again, Lopez, a true contact hitter. Hit 352 starts a season ago. Lays down a perfect bunt. Speshvak stumbles his way off the mound, tosses it over to Sasaki. Gets the out. So a sac bunt for Eli Lopez, moves Waldy Perez to second. As Carter Johnstone works with the runner on scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom half of inning number 4. One out with Perez, the runner on second. Carter Johnstone 0 for 1, drawing 2 walks back in the 1st and back in the 3rd inning. Also has a stolen base written up to his name as well. Just like Lopez has reached base safely 2 out of his last 3 appearances in this afternoon's matchup. Speshvak takes a look at the runner on second, deals home, check swing. Johnstone doesn't take. 2 balls and no strikes. Again, talk about the production really of Johnstone, right? His mechanics, a level swing, has some pop in his barrel. Speshvak gives 2 long looks to Perez at second. Deals home this time. This one hits the outer edge, paints the corner 2-1. Jacob Sharp will be due up next. 0 for 3, including 2 strikeouts and reaching on base via an error by the first baseman back in the 2nd inning. Certainly been a fun matchup. Cal State Fullerton fans have been itching for some offensive production. No doubt you certainly have gotten that today. 11 total runs, 3 runs scored in the 1st inning, 5 runs scored in the 2nd inning, and once again, they had a triple in the 3rd inning as well. 11 runs on 8 hits for the Titans. That one will be in there for called strike 3. Down goes Johnstone the 2nd time. Today he strikes out, 1 swinging back in the 2nd, now 1 looking. So after a Speshvak hit by pitch to Waldy Perez, a sac bunt, Lopez moves the runner over to 2nd. Out number 1, Johnstone out. 2 quick outs after leadoff man gets aboard, gives an opportunity once more to Jacob Sharp. First pitch to the junior product as Speshvak's getting move rolls his way out. Checks Perez. And a catcher, right, you don't expect too much speed, but Perez is a guy that he's willing to take off given the situation. 6'1" junior gets back on the left-hand side of the batter's box, waits for his first pitch, missing well outside. 93 miles per hour, 1 ball and no strikes.
Time for Jacob Sharp to maybe get one here.
Led the team a season ago with a batting average of .307. Won't be in there for a called strike. Sharp played in 40 games with 31 starts during the 2024 season. Finished the year with 16 runs and 20 RBIs. As for Sharp in the doubleheader, hitting .500, was 3 for 6, a big hack, swing and a miss, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sharp also collected 2 RBIs as well. Also drew a walk, slugging .667. Adding another double to his resume as well. The 1-2. Down low, Speshvak wanted the backwards K. Not quite yet, says Mac McMahon behind the dish. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom half of inning number 4. Could possibly be the first time that neither squad scores in this ball game. 2-2, swing and a miss. Down goes Sharp, another K for Speshvak as he continues his roll. For the first time today, both teams are scoreless in an inning. We head to the top half of inning number 5. Mike Martinez will be back at play-by-play duties when we return on ESPN+.
So if you're coming tomorrow, definitely pay for parking, unless you hear otherwise. 1 ball and no strikes to Brady Reynolds. Last time up, Reynolds homered. Titans 55 pitches and 7 outs from Dylan Smith, who pits into the 3rd. Struck out Nadai, then Reynolds homered, and that was it for Smith. Gurney working now 22 pitches, an inning and 2/3. 22 pitches, 17 for strikes, starting the inning. It's 11 runs on only 8 hits for Fullerton. Stanford is 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The error, not a fielding or throwing error, but a missed touch of first base by Sasaki, who was trying to make a play in a hurry to try to also get an out at home. Helped open up the big 5-run inning in the second for Fullerton. 3-2. Reynolds now takes the walk. First walk issued by Chad Gurney, the Titans sophomore from Pacifica High School, Garden Grove. Dylan Goff in the Titan bullpen, starting to get loose. Gurney into working from the stretch against Timo Becerra, who is 1 for 2. Becerra with 3 hits this weekend. Pulled through the left side past a diving Lada. Kirshner up to play back in. Timo Becerra will slide her there in front of the plate. Gets his second hit today, matching his total from yesterday. There it is, a little bit of a hanger.
I like the effort, though, from Lada. That's what you want to see, whether you're in the infield or the outfield. If there's an opportunity where you think as a coaching staff that you could possibly slide or at least make an effort, you know, at the end of the day, no one's going to get upset or mad at you for just trying to make a play. So give credit where credit's due with Lada, but we'll see what Gurney could do after issuing a, walk to the first batter, and we've seen it through the entirety of the series that simply put it, and this is any situation that any walk that Stanford puts on, those guys come around and score.
0-1 to Charlie Bates, 0 for 2. You're facing the 8-9 batters, but the 9 batter has been trouble today in Tatum Marsh on deck. Charlie Bates is the guy you'd want to get out since he has struck out and lined out. Again, Stanford up and down the lineup, getting on base. Charlie Somm, cleanup hitter, is really the only player, him and Bates, the 2 Charlies, haven't been on base yet today. Off-speed gets Bates and gets it to strike 2, 1-2. UC Irvine, they got behind early against Vanderbilt today as we get the 1-2. That's fouled off at the plate. Not quite a strikeout yet. 1-2 the count as Charlie Bates got a piece. So UC Irvine today against a top 20 Vanderbilt team. They're down 5-0, but they came back with 6 in the 6th and were ahead. But the Vanderbilt came back with 4 in the 8th and won it 9-8. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Inside heater ties up Charlie Bates. The foul tip this time caught by Waldy Perez, and down goes Bates, second time striking out.
I like this call too from Jason Dietrich, right? I mean, you know that Dylan Goff is ready to go, right? The 6'2" sophomore out of Fontana, California, then from Wanda High School, top-notch baseball program. But you want to see what Gurney can do in a situation like this. Hasn't really gotten into too much trouble in his appearance here this afternoon, so I'm curious to see what he could do.
Tatum Marsh on base, now hit by a pitch on the hip. That loads him up for Stanford and maybe gets Dietz to check the walkie to see how Goff is doing in the bullpen. Bases loaded situation, 1 out for the top of the order. Court McDonald, 0 for 2 today, did lead off the game with a walk. 3 hits, 4 walks this weekend. He takes up high, ball 1. Nowhere to put him for Chad Gurney. Temperature in the low 70s with a breeze. Beautiful winter day here in Southern California. 1-0 pitch. Works hard to the outside. Strike one called. Big West teams that play Monday include UC Riverside, a noon start against Utah Valley, finishing their series, and Cal Poly playing at LMU in the evening time. Outside, ball two. That ends up being a semi-traditional midweek. It's just not on Tuesday, but Cal Poly's coming from UCLA this weekend. Two balls in, a strike to Court McDonald. Sprayed foul, 2-2.
Curious to see what Gurney's gonna do, right? Again, he's been really effective with his off-speed pitches, throwing them for strikes. Likewise for his fastball. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to continue to jam the leadoff guy.
Full changeup here. Breaking pitch, or look like.
Close enough. You're right, though. Curveball in the dirt. I like it. Trying to get McDonald to chase.
Now it's 3-2. Good luck getting McDonald to expand that strike zone. He's been the tough one, with 4 walks already this weekend.
So you'd like to see, right, as the leadoff guy, too. Stay behind the count. Get a chance to wait some pitches.
Fastball ran outside the strike zone. Ball 4 to McDonald for an RBI. Reynolds crosses the plate. Stanford cuts the Titan lead to 11-7 and brings out Jason Dietrich to bring in Dylan Goff. Well, Stanford is still threatening, and the tying run is coming to the plate with Trevor Haskins, in addition to Rentaro Sasaki on deck. The Titans trying to nip this in the bud here in the 5th. (11-7) Titans on top. Here's the first appearance in the 2025 campaign for sophomore Dylan Goff, an Etiwanda High School Eagle. And that was, those are his numbers from last year in 10 appearances.
You know, what I like out of Dylan Goff, a lot of people don't realize, I mean, he now has more traditional, pitching mechanics, but the reason why I bring this up was he actually grew up playing in the infield, a shortstop and third base, an infield guy, but then he switched to be a pitcher. He was an Eagle for Etiwanda, right? So, the question when it comes to that, not necessarily that it's late in high school to switch positions off. Goff is proving everyone wrong, but, questions come into consideration, right? Mechanics, how you're looking sharp in the mound, and by all means, he has blown everything out of the water. 10 appearances with 1 start a season ago with a low ERA of 3.18. He's a guy that I can see kind of replacing Seth Tomczak in this relief, situation, right? He's just a guy that's going to come up clutch, attack the strikes out, attack the strikes out, especially something like this in a situation. You got bases loaded, 1 out. This is the time to shine for the righty.
For sure, and a guy that has big-time experience, played at a winning program at Etiwanda, where as a junior, he helped them win the title here in their Southern Section Division. Breaking pitch here on Trevor Haskins. You can't ask for a more high leverage situation, maybe the inning, but right here, 11-7, the tying run is at the plate, and Sasaki is on deck. Fastball, a down fastball for a strike. Look at Becerra at third. Smothered at first by Gomez. They get the out on Haskins. 2 out in the inning.
If that is not a Sports Center top 10, then I don't know what is. An absolute grab over there from Gomez in the hot seat. Let's take another look. Boom! They called the hot seat for a reason. I kind of want to ask him, does his hand hurt after that? There's a reason why he's wearing a batting glove underneath his mitt. What a great defensive effort there from the first baseman.
A line out to Isaiah Gomez. That's why you saw the first base runner McDonald scurry back. Sasaki still represents the tying run at the plate. A ball, one count. Goff sets. Outside fastball, but pretty much outside from the start. Becerra, Marsh, and McDonald, the base runners, 2-0. That's right down the middle, and it is hit a ton. Left center, all the way to the Raising Cane sign. And it's going to clear the bases for Stanford. The throw in, not in time to get McDonald on a double the other way by Rintaro Sasaki. He is the tying run, and now he is at second. It's 11-10.
Fastball outside. Does what he does best. You take it on the opposite side. You go Oppo Taco, clearing the baseball. And I don't know about you, Mike, but I think this kid is the real deal.
Yeah, he's the real deal because he'll take it wherever you pitch it. So many guys, we see it all the time in all levels of baseball, right up to the big leagues. The guys get aggressive, they get greedy. I mean, how many times did Judge get himself out basically by getting pull happy last year in the World Series? You know, Shohei had the same syndrome a lot of times. But Rintaro Sasaki just loves to use that left center. 1-0 pitch, saw him. Can't catch up to the spinner down. 1-1 rather. Stitchhead was here yesterday. He's been bouncing around. He was at UCLA Friday. He's going to get out to Arizona today. Stitchhead from D1 Baseball, Eric Sorensen, said, hey, the batting practices, it was to all fields. Yeah, he deposited a couple into the Arboretum, but he was using all fields, and that practice pays off in the game. A deep fly out by Charlie Som. That's that for Stanford in the fifth, but it is a 4-run inning for the Cardinal to get back in the game. Titans 11, Stanford 10. Well, we had 34 runs scored in a 10-inning ball game two years ago on a Sunday. I mean, that's a game that stands out, and I've called a lot of Titan games, and that game still stands out for how long it was, for how back and forth it was. 4 hours, 42 minutes that day, and I mean, we're almost having a repeat, a little different trending because we're actually ahead of that pace with 22 runs now through 4.5 innings. And for Stanford, it doesn't feel, they're not in the lead. Ryan Speciak trying to get these Titans coming up. But now Stanford has that momentum again, and they're trying to get that shutdown inning and get back to the bats. They're starting to cycle through the lineup almost as much as they did in game one, where they had 13 runs on 18 hits in 7 innings. They're at 10 runs, 11 hits today through 5. Marcos Rosales, Andrew Kirchner, and Maddox Latta for Fullerton. Rosales has been on base all 3 times with a single and 2 hit by pitches, scoring 3 times, knocking in 1. Strike 1.
And to your point too, Mike, I mean, Cal State Fullerton, they know I mean, no lead is ever safe in the sport of baseball, right? I mean, that was the mentality. They're attacking, the pitching staff is attacking as if it was a 1-0 ball game. That's what it was. It's just more, Stanford just got hot at the right time, especially with Sasaki, right? With that 3 RBI double. I mean, at this point, you question how really Cal State Fullerton's going to continue to attack that guy moving forward.
And leadoff walks 2 times in 5 innings have led to big numbers by Stanford. 3-run first, 4-run fifth, both led by walks. But it's same on the Titans side. The Titans had leadoff walks in the first and in the second. And they had big numbers, a 3-run, a 3-spot, and a 5-spot. So as a pitcher, that's what you're left to try to navigate, that first things first, trying to get the first guy and not let him get on, or at least have him earn his way on. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rosales, who gets a piece. There's not even a lot of guys left on base right now. Stanford at 10 runs, 11 hits, leaving 6. Titans 11 runs, 8 hits, leaving 7. Stanford has knocked in all 10. The Titans have knocked in 9 of their 11. Rosales, that shoots off the bat, but it's going to be playable in center field for Bates. Rosales is flied out. Bolchko was the Stanford starter. He lasted 4 outs. So he got 1 out in the second, and 7 runs, 5 earned charged to him. Dugan pitched for 1 inning. 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. And Speciak 2 innings, only 1 hit allowed. He's settled him down right now. Andrew Kirchner at the plate. Kirchner having himself a day at the plate with 2 singles and a double, 3 knocked in. A game to manage emotions of, hey, when the other team goes out and scores, you want to go back and get it back, and how you go about it. Is it with a little bit too much emotion or just the right amount? Solid plan at the plate, trying to absorb good pitches by their guy and wait for your pitches.
And I know too, right? I mean, you could say this for either side, like questioning what's going wrong today, right? I mean, again, it's certainly been just 2 teams exchanging runs left and right.
Second caught looking on Speciak, who now has struck out 4, 2 looking. Kirchner down for the first time today. Maddox Lotta is up. He struck out, first batter that Speciak faced in the 3rd. Before that, Lotta had a single and hit into a force play with 2 RBIs in the game. Slider pitch, 4 strike.
But as I was saying, right, I mean, today at least you look at Stanford, the walks, the hit by pitches, you're just giving way too many free passes. Cal State Fullerton has done a tremendous job just capitalizing.
Liner by Lotta, but right to Timo Becerro, a 3-up, 3-down inning for Speciak, who has now retired 6 in a row, settling them down big time, and Stanford can tie or go ahead in the 6th. A 1-run ball game as we go into the 6th. The Titans, you know, they have to really want this game right now, because you can salvage some of the series by getting at least 1. If this was a 3-game series, you certainly wouldn't want to be swept. And winning this game would prevent them from being swept in a 4-game, and potentially gives them a chance to split the series if they get tomorrow also. Won't be easy. Neither team has a starter listed for tomorrow. Now, big picture, as we get Jimmy Nadai leading off, 1 for 3 in the game, is that the Big West now has the championships at the end of the season. Top 5 get in. So you're really trying to place yourself in the top 5 to give yourself extra games and extra chance at getting to the postseason. Regular season title won't do much for you. Say if you had a sub 500 record, if you weren't an at-large team, the regular season title doesn't get you in anymore. So you are playing the long game here.
And I absolutely love postseason baseball. I mean, who doesn't, right? I mean, the way I view it, besides the elimination game to start off the Big West Championships, right? Then after that game, it goes into double elimination. Point I'm trying to make is you make the postseason, everybody has the same record. You're 0-0. It's anybody's game, especially if you get past through that, I'm going to say, wild card spot. You get through that single elimination game. Everyone's the same. Everyone has the same record. Everyone has the same amount of chances to come and win. So, I mean, this is a sport of baseball, right? We said it earlier, how it's a game of failure. It just comes down to just who has the momentum carrying into the postseason, right? And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple upsets, and that's what's so great about postseason baseball is just you get those opportunities to really just show who you are, and especially during those tough moments.
2-2 pitch to Jimmy Nadai. He's caught looking on an outside fastball. Nadai, the only batter that didn't hit for Stanford in the last inning when they sent 8 to the plate. First strikeout for Dylan Goff. We see what he can do with a clean inning. He faced 3 coming on in a bases loaded jam in the 5th. He got 2 of the 3, but did allow the inherited runners to score when Sasaki cleared the bases on the double. Reynolds at the plate. He hasn't been stopped yet today. 2-run single in the first, followed by a homer, and then walked and scored in their big 5th inning, facing his 3rd different pitcher. A ball 1 count. Goff gets it fouled back. And so to continue on with big picture stuff, Big West probably will be wide open from the 3rd spot on down. Judging on what teams are doing, Long Beach State has been up and down this weekend against Northwestern. They won Big Friday, but they lost Saturday. Cal Poly picked to finish 3rd in the conference by the coaches. They have not shown especially well Saturday or Sunday at UCLA. And UCLA could be good, but they're coming off a couple of tough seasons. Cal Poly was competitive in the Friday game, but lost 18-2 yesterday, and they're giving up another 16 or 18 runs today. So Cal Poly may or may not be so entrenched there as one of the top teams in the conference either. A bouncing ball through the right side for Reynolds as he continues to stay hot with his 3rd hit of the day.
And, you know, too, the way I think about it, too, is you keep mentioning it a lot, which I like. It's extra games. And, again, I think extra games gives an opportunity for the NCAA committee to say, hey, let's take an extra look at the Big West Conference. Let's see if there are teams, of course, depending on RPI, that plays a factor. If there's any way, shape, or form that team should have the at-large bid. That's what we saw last year, why? With, of course, UC Santa Barbara getting in automatically, UC Irvine with the at-large bid. So I see the extra games as an opportunity, really, and of course I know they're going to look at schedule of strength and all that, but again, at the end of the day, those extra games are going to be crucial of possibly getting an at-large bid.
I'll add to that in a moment, as now it's 2 strikes on Timo Becerra. A couple of years ago, it was Irvine that had a good RPI throughout the season. I think that was 23 when the Titans went to the regionals. But Irvine had all the bad RPI Big West teams at the end of the season. So the RPI took a hit just because they played bad teams. They didn't really lose many games, if any. 1-2 on Becerra. So now with kind of, you should be playing better teams. Like you said, the NCAA can look at that event and say, hey, these teams played well, didn't win it. They're borderline RPI. Maybe we give them that bid versus, hey, they're playing Riverside and, well, we can't tell if we're just judging based on the RPI. So that does come into play, Robbie. 1 and 2 on Becerra. Irvine looking good this weekend, even fighting tooth and nail with Vanderbilt today in losing 9-8. Came back from a big deficit, had the lead, lost it in the 8th inning. In what was likely hitter-friendly conditions in Arizona, unless it was kind of rainy. Left center field, Timo Becerra drops one into left center, so he's put up a 3-hit day now after coming in with 2 hits from the doubleheader. And look out, Timo Becerra, 7th spot gives you 3 hits. That's why now getting Bates is important, and getting Marsh has been tough. Becerra and Marsh combined 5 for 6 in the 7 and 9 spots. You have a top of the order like they've had with McDonald, and then Haskins, and especially Sasaki gets 7, 8, 9 on base that many times. That makes it really tough. 1 out, 2 on for Bates. Strike 1. Bates 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts.
And you know, too, if you're Esker, this is a good problem to have. It's your bottom of the lineup that's being productive, and I'm not saying the top of the lineup isn't either, but, you know, it kind of adds a question mark, like, hey, maybe I need to flip things around or give other people a chance.
A golf shot to deep center. Lopez back onto the track to haul it in. Reynolds and Becerra retreat to second and first on a long drive by Bates. Just got underneath it. Good pitch, though, by Goff.
That hurts Bates, right? I mean, it was just dead center field, but, you know, I know we keep bringing this up a lot, but again, Lopez, a kid that was supposed to be in the infield, he's playing like he's been playing the outfield his entire life. Again, I know this is just textbook baseball, but gets a feel of the warning track, kind of reaches out his glove a little bit, trying to feel the wall a little bit, just in time to just turn his body, make the one arm snag for a key out number 2 here, the top half of the 6th inning.
Jason Dietrich is making the call to Ryan Falks. Meanwhile, I did see Stanford's closer go to their pen for the first time this weekend, Torrin O'Haron. That's, of course, for later, should they get the lead. But in most likely circumstances, right now it's Falks coming in for the Titans with a tie and go-ahead runs on for Stanford in the 6th. Ryan Falks is on for Fullerton. First appearance of the season for the 3rd-year Titan from Rancho Santa Margarita, transfer from San Diego State where he played 1 year. He's a senior now. 6'3" and 190. Played on the Titan regional team in 23 with 15 appearances. Last year with 12 appearances and a solid ERA of 3.6. 10 innings on the season with 8 strikeouts. Never started a game for Fullerton. A consistent bullpen type arm that they hope gives them another solid year here in 25. And it's an important situation. Goff came in, tough spot with 2 and 3 coming up. And Falks comes in, not exactly the same situation, but it is a lot of pressure. Another high-leverage situation against these Stanford Cardinal batters. With Reynolds at second base, Becerra at first. Waldy Perez, the Titan catcher for the 2nd time this weekend. Gomez, Rosales, Lada, Johnstone around the infield, and Kirshner, Lopez, and Hart for the Titans around the outfield. Start to get the shadows a little bit, at least the early stages of them. The early stages of the late afternoon as we are past 3:30 here in Fullerton.
You know, I had the chance to talk to folks a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you know this, Mike. He actually interns with us at Titan Sports Network. But he's been saying that he really likes, you know, this pitching staff this year compared to last year.
Uh-oh. Tatum Marsh, he's been in trouble all day, and he put Stanford in front with a shot over the scoreboard. 13-11, Stanford Cardinal, as Tatum Marsh now gets his third leg of the cycle. A freshman from San Jose, and in my head, I'm drawing comparisons to Braden Montgomery, who was similar as a freshman, came here to Fullerton. We saw great tools all weekend, and that one gets absolutely crushed past the scoreboard as Stanford goes in front now. First time since the second inning.
You know, that's just a situation, right? I mean, you know what Fulks is capable of doing. We've seen him for a few years now in the Titan uniform. Just gives a fastball right down the heart of the plate. And if you know Tatum Marsh, you know the pop that he has. Absolutely tattoos that baseball deep to left field. You know, short-term memory, right? Pose and composure. Cal State Fullerton only down by 2 with still a couple of innings to go here in this ball game.
Top of the order here, bases clear, 2 out. Tough one for Waldy. 13 runs, 14 hits for the Stanford Cardinal, their first couple of home runs of the season. And bottom half of the lineup as well. 6 spot Reynolds. That was in the third. 9 spot. And that's just, it's too much when the top of the order is pretty solid and the bottom of the order is just kind of going off. Ground ball to the right side. Fulks does a good job coming over. Stanford on the Tatum Marsh first career home run goes in front. And now it's rally time for the Pinstripers. The Titans are going to have to solve Ryan Speciak here because he has put up a couple of zeros and he has looked good. Striking out 4. He came on in the third inning and finished off what was a really disastrous first 3 innings for Stanford pitching. 3 runs, 5 runs, and 3 runs by the Titans those first 3 innings, as you see it in the line score there. But now with the Stanford offense, the guy now off the hook is Joey Volchko, who with 49 pitches only got 4 outs and left a huge number up on the board, 7 runs, 5 earned, but now he is off the hook. That Stanford offense, they're like, if it was a horror movie, they'd be that person coming from behind, you know they're catching up, and you got to try to keep your distance before they end up clubbing you in the back of the head. Isaiah Gomez leads off. 7, 8, 9 for the Titans here in the bottom of the 6th. Logan Hart on deck and Waldy Perez after that. Go ahead, Robbie.
The mentality, right, is you're only down by 2. You've been down much more in this series, right? And of course, that's a situation you never want to be in, but that's just the case, right? So you've been down more. This is nothing for Cal State Fullerton, and it just goes back to continue what you've been doing the entirety of this game, is find a way to get on base, maybe continue with the hit and run. We've seen that today. We've seen a couple bunts, a couple sack bunt opportunities. So again, the game plan is working. Just continue to play your game.
Speciak's a guy that had a 7.5 ERA last year as a freshman, and he also hit 12 batters in 35 innings. But he is in command today. That's the thing, when you face all these pitchers, you might be able to prepare for 1 or 2 guys, and maybe 1 or 2 other guys might have their struggles, but then that one guy gets on a roll, and you can't figure him out. And Speciak strikes out his 5th, getting Gomez on a high fastball.
His location of pitch is right. He attacks low, kind of works his way outside, and then goes with a high fastball to get Gomez to whiff on that. You like what you're seeing out of Speshvak. Again, it's just him to continue to attack the zone.
Logan Hart is coming up. Torrin O'Haron is in the bullpen. Their closer is warming up. Seems a little bit early for a closer unless he's like a 2 or 3 inning guy. Strike one to Logan Hart. Swing and a miss on a good fastball, 93. Torrin O'Haron last year with 7 saves did work more than an inning per appearance. So we could get him for more than 3 outs. Speshvak still going though. 1-2. 13-11, Stanford Cardinal. Here in the 8th inning. Speshvak is just over 40 pitches now. Still working from the windup. Foul back out of play. Inside on Hart as he tries to do something here with 2 strikes.
Curious to see how long they're going to let Speshvak go for. 38 total pitches before this AB, 43 to be precise. I mean, 5 strikeouts, 1 hit. Even if he gets into trouble, you look to our right, there is someone warming up in the Stanford bullpen. Speshvak has certainly proven his worth to see if possibly, if need to be, if he can get himself out of a jam.
Stanford from their side, they saw it, and Esker's a step and a half outside the dugout, getting on Matt McMahon, but the call's the call. Off the end of the bat into center, left center, where Bates was perfectly positioned. Another string. Another out in the string of outs put up by Speshvak, who's now retired 8 straight.
He's there. He's finally on a roll. Quick tempo, right? I mean, I'm trying to take like a quick look right at the pitch clock. I mean, he just takes no time at all, not wasting any time. Wants to go out, just continue to throw strikes and make the offensive side try to at least do something. But again, he's having an all-out clinic here today.
Cal State Northridge ended up losing the series to Santa Clara. Won the Saturday game, but that blown 9th inning lead on Friday ends up costing them the series against Santa Clara, the Broncos. Santa Clara, where the Super Bowl is going to be next year, Super Bowl 60, 10 years after Super Bowl 50, Peyton Manning's last rodeo. But Stanford figures to be part of the hosting. I think Stanford and San Jose State were the practice sites for the Super Bowl 10 years ago. Santa Clara doesn't have football facilities, I don't think. 3 balls in 1 strike. Somebody remind me that football season's over. And then I cry like a baby. 3-1. In there.
See, part of me misses it, but also part of me doesn't, because you know when football season concludes, that means it's baseball time. So, for that aspect, I'm enjoying myself.
Are you one of those people that go to spring training? If you can make it? 3-2 on Waldy. Swing and a miss. I guess we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
When we come back in the 7th, Robbie will be jumping back on play-by-play. Speciak has dominated the Titans, retiring 9 straight, striking out 6 overall.
I don't know why. I was like, nah, this guy's going to strike out. I'm going to let Mike.
Come back here in the top of the 7th inning. Ryan Fulks back out, and it's time for redemption time for the right-handed pitcher after giving up a 3-run home run well deep to left field all the way to the scoreboard. 13-11 Stanford lead. And a season ago, Fulks with 3.60 ERA, 8 strikeouts with 12 appearances. He's going to be a true veteran that Cal State Fullerton will heavily rely on as this season progresses. Again, still a lot of time left to be played for this Cal State Fullerton team to come up with a few runs. 2, 3, and 4. Haskins, Sasaki, and Charlie Sohm will be due up in the top half of the 7th inning for Stanford Cardinal. 13-11 is the score into this one. He's Michael Martinez. My name's Robbie Loya. Baseball will continue tomorrow afternoon, Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, for the 4th and final game of this 4-game series between the Cardinal and the Titans. After this matchup, Cal State Fullerton will get ready for a 3-game series against the Fresno State Bulldogs. A slow chopper to third. Johnstone picks it up, throws it on the run across the diamond. Right on the money to Gomez at first. 5-3 ground out to start things rolling for Fulks here in the top of the 7th. Here comes Rentaro Sasaki. Sasaki, talk about having a day. 3 at-bats, 3 base hits, well, technically 4 at-bats. Drew a walk back in the 2nd inning, has reached base. All 4 plate appearance today, looking for another. Just sharply hit grounder right behind the second base bag. Shift was on as Lada makes the grab for a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. Here comes Charlie Sohm. 0 for 4 today. 3 flyouts, 1 to center, 2 of them to right field, including his last AB in the 5th inning. Also grounded out to Rosales at second base. Looks for the windup. That baseball is tattooed deep to center field. Lopez looks up, and that baseball is out of here. Charlie Sohm with an absolute dinger to deep center field. And just like that, the Stanford Cardinal extend their lead 14-11 here in the top of the 7th inning. Let's take another look on ESPN Plus. It was a high fastball. Absolutely roped that baseball for his first home run of the 2025 campaign. The 2nd home run that Ryan Fulks has given up here today. First pitch missing outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Jimmy Nadai. Stanford scoreless in the 4th inning. What we thought they cooled down a little bit. Next thing you know, they score 4 runs in the 5th inning, 3 runs in the 6th, and another one in the 7th. The chopper that goes foul. Out of play towards the Cal State Fullerton bullpen. 2 balls and a strike as Johnstone leaves that one be. Again, a season to go for Charlie Sohm. Had 8 home runs. Looking for more this season. 2-1 pitch inside, 3 balls and a strike for the second baseman. Nat Eyes 1 for 4 today, including striking out 3 times. Struck out looking back in the 6th inning, had an RBI single to left field back in inning number 1. No one on base, 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning for Ryan Folks. Here's the 3-2 payout pitch. That one is screamed, but foul. Hits off of the Titan dugout. Replay, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, after the 3-game set between the Fresno State Bulldogs, Cal State Fullerton will return home on Tuesday, February 25th to host the USC Trojans. As an off-speed in the dirt. Gives a free base for Jimmy Nati and gives another opportunity for Brady Reynolds to do some damage. Reynolds, a kid that is 2 for 2 today, including 2 walks, so 4 plate appearances. Reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances today. Had a 2 RBI single up the middle back in the 1st inning, and then showed off his power back in the 3rd inning with a home run to left center field back in the 3rd. Couple of home runs. We've seen one from Reynolds, one from Marsh. Also one now by the catcher, Charlie Saum. The 0-1, big hat, big miss from Reynolds. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs with runner on first. Couple of midweek games, and then next thing you know, Cal State Fullerton will head to San Luis Obispo on March 7th to begin Big West play. And again, Cal State Fullerton will host USC on March 11th, another Tuesday, and then next thing you know, get ready for more conference matchup as the Big West home opener here at Goodwin Field will be against UC San Diego on the March 14th. Folks once again steps off the rubber, goes in and out of the glove of Gomez, as Nati will take his time getting off the base. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Brady Reynolds. As for the Stanford Cardinal, they'll head home, take on the Washington Huskies for a 4-game set, then another 4-game series with Xavier, also at home. So couple weeks that the Stanford Cardinal will be home. The next thing you know, you get ready for ACC play in North Carolina. One indeed to look out for. Folks, checks runner on first, gives another nod. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, gets away from Perez, able to keep it in front of him, asks for a new rock. As Folks will get ready for a new Pearl, as Perez with a big deep breath telling Folks, hey, slow down your game a little bit. You're all right. 14 runs on 15 hits and an error for the Stanford Cardinal. Deuces are wild, 2-2, 2 outs, high fastball. Folks wanting to get Reynolds a chase, no take at all. Perez is looking at Johnstone at third, likewise for Kirshner. Kirshner moving a little bit towards the right-hand side of the left field line. Reynolds, or check that rather. Nati will take off, doesn't matter, swing and a miss. Down goes Brady Reynolds as Folks gets away with his first strikeout of the new campaign, but Stanford adds 1 to the board. They leave 1 man left on base. Charlie Saum with a deep home run. Center field, 14-11 Stanford. It's time to stretch. We'll be back right after this on ESPN Plus. New pitcher in the bottom of the 7th inning as Charlie Saum extends the lead for the Stanford Cardinal. They're on top 14-11 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's Michael Martinez. My name is Robbie Loya. We have a new pitcher on the bump for the Stanford Cardinal. That is, of course, Torin O'Haron. O'Haron, of course, righty pitcher, 24 appearances, 39 and 1/3 innings pitched this season ago with 2 wins, 4 losses, 5.26 ERA. We've seen a lot from both pitching staffs through the entirety. Not so much Stanford until today, but we've seen a lot of the pitching staff already from Cal State Fullerton. So I'm really curious to see who's going to start tomorrow for either side. I feel like either side, it's just up in the air, and more so got to look back to see who's possibly available to even start. If you're Cal State Fullerton, yes, you're down by 3, but hey, the good news is you start off with your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Eli Lopez, Carter Johnstone, and Jacob Shart will be due up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. A little bit about O'Haron. 6'1" junior from Rockland, California. Pac-12 team champion back in 2023. Of course, this year the NCB AA Stopper of the Year Award watch list. That's 7 saves over 39 and 1/3 innings pitched. Appearances total was second most on the team and his 7 saves ranked 5th in the Pac-12 and 56th nationally. As the 0-1 pitch will be right down the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eli Lopez. Of course, prior to Stanford, a 2022 graduate of Rockland High School, guided Rockland to the Sierra Foothill League Championship back in 2021. Competed in football, but not only that, also in the Rockland High School Hall of Fame. Called a strike 3 on the outer half. Down goes Lopez looking for a quick out number 1 here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Brings up Carter Johnstone. So far, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, making his 5th plate appearance in the afternoon matchup. Drew 2 walks. Both of those walks actually came around and scored. Also clearing stolen base opportunity, 1 for 1 so far for the freshman. So he waits first pitch, missing 1 ball, no strikes. Johnstone entering with 3 runs with a batting average of .221. Again, was in the 6th spot, now in the 2 hole. And again, a guy that will get pitchers to go deep in the counts. O'Haron slashes that one and actually got caught in the net. It goes down. 2-1.
4 strikeouts looking for Fullerton this afternoon. That was a problem last year. That they were taking strikes and swinging at non-strikes.
Ball missing in the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. And of course, right, it's the obvious. You gotta swing the bat, see what can happen, and we've seen that today from the majority, right? I know, to another factor, Dietrich was mentioning love to be more aggressive in the plate, as that one is smacked deep to center field. Ranging back, unable to get there is Bates in deep center field. Rounding second, and he's going to put the hard brakes. Carter Johnstone with his first base hit and an exciting one in this afternoon. The stand-up double. Runner in scoring position with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th.
He has a hit in every game, and they're all for extra bases. That's promising. That's good. That's good to see right there. That's what you're hoping for. People come out, new players, freshmen, and he's got some pop, and he has the ability to hit the ball to the deep parts of the ballpark. Got the ball up in the air a little bit with the wind and took advantage of his count leverage there.
Dietrich said, right, Johnstone is a guy that we can rely on. Doesn't matter if he's a freshman or not. He's playing like he's a true senior already. And we've seen it already throughout the entirety of this series against the Stanford Cardinal. No balls and a strike to Jacob Shart. So far today for the designated hitter, hitless through 4 ABs, 3 strikeouts. including reaching on an error back in the second inning. That one will be in there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes for the designated hitter, batting .300 with 2 runs and 3 runs batted in so far through 3 games so far of the new campaign. Marcos Rosales waiting on deck for the Titans. 0-2 pitch. That one slashed away right behind us in the press box. Replay, no balls and 2 strikes.
Long Beach State lost their opening series to Northwestern. They won Friday, kind of big, but they lost Saturday and Sunday.
Aaron with the 0-2. Slowly hit grounder to first. Sasaki picks it up. Will take it himself. Putting those shades to good use. Ground out 3 unassisted, giving Rosales a chance to get a base hit. Will drive in 1. As for Marcos Rosales, so far 1 for 2 today. Has reached base 3 out of his 4 plate appearances. 2 hit by pitches. Each time that he's gotten aboard, got to come around and score. Batting .167, entering this AB, 3 runs and 1 run batted in at this game alone. First pitch, 91 miles per hour, missing high, 1 ball and no strikes. The second baseman. West Covina, California product gets set to go. A check swing goes off right through the middle of the barrel of the stick.
He must have a target on his uniform somewhere. If he wouldn't have swung there or gone halfway around and got the bat to it, he would have got hit again.
And you see it there on your screen, right? I mean, you mentioned he's got hit already 3 times in this series, still crowding the batter's box. He doesn't care. Shakes that one off, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that's the mentality you got to have, right? It's we got ice. Try to find a way to get on. Help your team out, and certainly Rosales has proven that the entirety of the series. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to O'Haron. Slashes that one to short, picked up by Becerra, tosses over to first in time, and that will do it. Cal State Fullerton gets 1 aboard off of 1 hit from Carter Johnstone. Cal State Fullerton still down by 3. We head to the top half of the 8th inning. 14-11, Stanford lead on ESPN+. New pitcher on the bump for the Titans. the 6'3" freshman from San Diego, California, Brady Dockin. Attended Rancho Bernardo High School in San Diego, played 3 years of varsity baseball. Junior year, he earned first team All-League, including League Pitcher of the Year, first team All-CIF, earned second team All-League as a sophomore. Of course, a guy that models his game after Max Fried. Another lefty, as Fried now a New York Yankee. After his accomplishments for the Atlanta Braves organization, is excited to see what the tall lefty can do. And Dockin is a youngster that, you know, especially with his off-speed pitches, he can come down as a nasty lefty. Doesn't have the highest of velocities, but again, for him, and this is what we've seen, you know, at Rancho Bernardo, is just his ability to throw strikes. Again, he's not going to truly overpower you, but he certainly has a lot of nasty stuff that could do some damage. So we'll see the first time collegiate appearance for the freshman as Dockin gets ready to go. Dockin working from the very left-hand side of the rubber as the first pitch to Timo Becerra. Big hack missing, 77 on the gun. No balls and a strike. 7, 8, and 9. Becerra, Bates, and Marsh due up in the top half of inning number 8. Cal State Fullerton down by 3. Becerra well early once more. Slashes that one in front of the Stanford dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. As for Becerra, 3 for 4. After getting on via fielder's choice back in the first inning. Back-to-back-to-back hits, all singles, 2 to center, 1 to left field. Every single time he's coming across, or at least getting on base, coming around and scoring. The 1-2, slash towards the third baseline and foul. Replay, 1 ball and 2 strikes for Brady Dockin. Final score for Ryan Folks. His day concludes going 1 1/3. 24 total pitches, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, all of which were earned, both of which were home runs, including a walk and 1 strikeout, facing 7 batters. A lot of pitching we've seen out of the Cal State Fullerton bullpen. Dylan Smith going 2 1/3. As for Gurney, going 2 innings, 1 1/3 for Goff. Likewise for Ryan Folks. As Becerra turns that one, and it goes right into the mitt at Johnstone at third base for line out 5 for out number 1 here, top half of the 8th inning. That was going to go ahead and bring up Charlie Bates. Bates 0 for 4. Last AB back in the 6th inning, flew out to Eli Lopez in center field. Bates has got a lot of power, has yet to use it here in this one. Big hack. A sliding effort goes in and out of Rosales' glove into the outfield and right field. A base hit for Charlie Bates. The Stanford Cardinal once again continue to get going. Here are the sticks. Brings up Tatum Marsh, and Marsh, you know, come in. Ryan Folks was the new pitcher, and the first pitch was absolutely tattooed deep to left field. A 3-run bomb to Marsh. First pitch, it was a check swing, goes off the barrel towards the end of the stick of Marsh. No balls and a strike. Deep breath from the right-handed hitter. The 0-1. Dockin uses his A move again. It's so efficient, right, about left-handed pitchers. You got 2 moves. Either you can kind of go at like a 45-degree angle, acting like you're going home. Said you can pick off the first, or you can just do a high leg kick and go just straight to first base. So a couple moves to work with. Technically, you have 3 if you think about going off the rubble, right? Just step off, try to throw a little bit of a off-balance throw, so to speak, but that could work possibly for Dockett. Dockett checks the runner on first. Nasty curveball. It's a slow dribble to Rosales. Checks the runner on second. Decides to throw over to first in time. Bates will advance from first to second. 4-3 ground out for out number 2 here at the top of the 8th inning. Bringing up Court McDonald. Taking another look on ESPN Plus Fundamental Baseball, right? Rosales, good job staying low within the baseball with Bates, of course, taking off to second base. Doesn't get in the way, allows to Rosales to make the clean 4-3 punch out. Freshman looking sharp early, letting his defense do the work. Lefty-lefty matchup. McDonald likes to swing in the first pitch. That one well in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes for the left-handed hitter. McDonald 0 for 3 today, but still finds a way to get on base. Walked in his 4th plate appearance back in the 5th inning. Grounded out to Gomez at first. 6th inning. The 1-0. Slow grounder picked up by Gomez. He'll take it himself, and that will do it. 1 man left on base after 1 base knock from Charlie Bates. Stanford is scoreless for the 2nd time in this one as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Stanford up by 3. Kirshner, Lara, and Gomez due up when we return on ESPN Plus.
Nat Eyes 1 for 4 today, including striking out 3 times. Struck out looking back in the 6th inning. Had an RBI single to left field back in inning number 1. No one on base. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning for Ryan Folks. Here's the 3-2 payoff pitch. That one is screamed, but foul. Hits off of the Titan dugout. Replay 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, after the 3-game set between the Fresno State Bulldogs, Cal State Fullerton will return home on Tuesday, February 25th to host the USC Trojans. As an off-speed in the dirt, gives a free base for Jimmy Nati and gives another. Again, after the 3-game set between the Fresno State Bulldogs, Cal State Fullerton will return home on Tuesday, February 25th to host the USC Trojans. As an off-speed in the dirt, gives a free base for Jimmy Nati and gives another opportunity for Brady Reynolds to do some damage. Reynolds, a kid that is 2 for 2 today, including 2 walks, so 4 plate appearances. Reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances today. Had a 2 RBI single up the middle back in the 1st inning, and then showed off his power back in the 3rd inning with a home run to left center field back in the 3rd. Couple of home runs. We've seen one from Reynolds, one from Marsh. Also one now by the catcher, Charlie Somm. The 0-1, big hat, big miss from Reynolds. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs with runner on first. Couple of midweek games, and then next thing you know, Cal State Fullerton will head to San Luis Obispo on March 7th to begin Big West play. And again, Cal State Fullerton will host USC on March 11th, another Tuesday. And then next thing you know, get ready for more conference matchup as the Big West home opener here at Goodwin Field will be against UC San Diego on the March 14th. Folks once again steps off the rubber, goes in and out of the glove of Gomez, as Nati will take his time getting off the base. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Brady Reynolds. As for the Stanford Cardinal, they'll head home, take on the Washington Huskies for a 4-game set, then another 4-game series with Xavier, also at home. So a couple of weeks that the Stanford Cardinal will be home. The next thing you know, you get ready for ACC play in North Carolina 1-1 indeed to look out for. Folks, 6th runner on first, gives another nod. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, gets away from Perez, able to keep it in front of him, asks for a new rock. As Folks will get ready for a new pearl, as Perez with a big deep breath telling Folks, hey, slow down your game a little bit. You're right. 14 runs on 15 hits and an error for the Stanford Cardinal. Deuces are wild. 2-2, 2 outs. High fastball. Folks wanting to get Reynolds a chase. No take at all. Perez is looking at Johnstone at third. Likewise for Kirshner. Kirshner moving a little bit towards the right-hand side of the left field line. Reynolds, or check that rather. Not-I will take off. Doesn't matter. Swing and a miss. Down goes Brady Reynolds as Folks gets away with his first strikeout of the new campaign, but Stanford adds 1 to the board. They leave 1 man left on base. Charlie Somm with a deep home run. Center field, 14-11 Stanford. It's time to stretch. We'll be back right after this on ESPN Plus. New pitcher in the bottom of the 7th inning. As Charlie Somm extends the lead for the Stanford Cardinal. They're on top 14-11 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's Michael Martinez. My name is Robbie Loya. We have a new pitcher on the bump for the Stanford Cardinal. That is, of course, Torin O'Haron. O'Haron, of course, righty pitcher, 24 appearances, 39 1/3 innings pitched this season ago with 2 wins, 4 losses, 5.26 ERA. We've seen a lot from both pitching staffs through the entirety, not so much Stanford until today, but we've seen a lot of the pitching staff already from Cal State Fullerton, so I'm really curious to see who's going to start tomorrow for either side. I feel like either side, it's just up in the air, and more so got to look back to see who's possibly available to even start. If you're Cal State Fullerton, yes, you're down by 3, but hey, the good news is you start off with your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Eli Lopez, Carter Johnstone, and Jacob Shart will be due up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. A little bit about O'Haron. 6'1" junior from Rockland, California. Pac-12 team champion back in 2023. Of course, this year, the NCB Double-A Stopper of the Year Award watch list. That's 7 saves over 39 1/3 innings pitched. Appearances total was 2nd most on the team, and his 7 saves ranked 5th in the Pac-12 and 56th nationally. As the 0-1 pitch will be right down the heart of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eli Lopez. Of course, prior to Stanford, a 2022 graduate of Rockland High School, guided Rockland to the Sierra Foothill League Championship back in 2021. Competed in football, but not only that, also in the Rockland High School Hall of Fame. Called a strike 3 on the outer half. Down goes Lopez looking for a quick out number 1 here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Brings up Carter Johnstone. So far, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, making his 5th plate appearance in the afternoon matchup. Drew 2 walks. Both of those walks actually came around and scored. Also getting stolen base opportunity, 1 for 1 so far for the freshman. So he awaits first pitch, missing 1 ball and no strikes. Johnstone entering with 3 runs with a batting average of .221. Again, Was in the 6th spot, now in the 2 hole. And again, a guy that will get pitchers to go deep in the counts. O'Haron slashes that one and actually got caught in the net. It goes down 2-1.
4 strikeouts looking for Fullerton this afternoon. That was a problem last year, that they were taking strikes and swinging at non-strikes.
Ball missing in the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. And of course, right, it's the obvious. You gotta swing the bat, see what can happen, and we've seen that today for the majority, right? I know, to another factor, Dietrich was, mentioning love to be more aggressive in the plate, as that one is smacked deep to center field. Ranging back, unable to get there is Bates in deep center field. Rounding second, and he's going to put the hard brakes. Carter Johnstone with his first base hit, and an exciting one in this afternoon. The stand-up double. Runner in scoring position with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th.
He has a hit in every game, and they're all for extra bases. That's promising. That's good. That's good to see right there. That's what you're hoping for. People come out, new players, freshmen, and he's got some pop, and he has the ability to hit the ball to the deep parts of the ballpark. Got the ball up in the air a little bit with the wind, and took advantage of his count leverage there.
Dietrich said, right, Johnstone is a guy that we can rely on. Doesn't matter if he's a freshman or not. He's playing like he's a true senior already. And we've seen it already throughout the entirety of this series against the Stanford Cardinal. No balls and a strike to Jacob Sharp. So far today for the designated hitter, hitless through 4 ABs, 3 strikeouts, including reaching on an error back in the 2nd inning. That one being there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes for the designated hitter, batting .300 with 2 runs and 3 runs batted in so far through 3 games so far of the new campaign. Marcos Rosales awaiting on deck for the Titans. 0-2 pitch, that one slashed away right behind us in the press box. Replay, no balls and 2 strikes.
Long Beach State lost their opening series to Northwestern. They won Friday, kind of big, but they lost Saturday and Sunday.
O'Haron with the 0-2. Slowly hit grounder to first. Sasaki picks it up. Will take it himself. Putting those shades to good use. Ground out 3 unassisted, giving Rosales a chance to get a base hit. Will drive in 1. As for Marcos Rosales, so far 1 for 2 today. Has reached base 3 out of his 4 plate appearances. 2 hit by pitches. Each time that he's gotten aboard, got to come around and score. Batting .167, entering this AB, 3 runs and 1 run batted in this game alone. First pitch, 91 miles per hour, missing high, 1 ball and no strikes. The second baseman. West Covina, California product gets set to go. A check swing goes off right through the middle of the barrel of the stick.
He must have a target on his uniform somewhere. If he wouldn't have swung there or gone halfway around and got the bat to it, he would have got hit again.
And you see it there on your screen, right? I mean, you mentioned he's got hit already 3 times in this series, still crowding the batter's box. He doesn't care. Shakes that one off, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that's the mentality you got to have, right? It's we got ice. Try to find a way to get on. Help your team out, and certainly Rosales has proven that the entirety of the series. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to O'Haron. Slashes that one to short, picked up by Becerra, tosses over to first in time, and that will do it. Cal State Fullerton gets one aboard off of one hit from Carter Johnstone. Cal State Fullerton still down by 3. We head to the top half of the 8th inning. 14-11, Stanford lead on ESPN Plus. New pitcher on the bump for the Titans, the 6'3" freshman from San Diego, California, Brady Dockin. Attended Rancho Bernardo High School in San Diego, played 3 years of varsity baseball. Junior year, he earned first-team All-League, including League Pitcher of the Year, first-team All-CIF, earned second-team All-League as a sophomore. Of course, a guy that models his game after Max Fried. Another lefty, as Fried now a New York Yankee. After his accomplishments for the Atlanta Braves organization, is excited to see what the tall lefty can do. And Dockin is a youngster that, you know, especially with his off-speed pitches, he can come down as a nasty lefty. Doesn't have the highest of velocities, but again, for him, and this is what we've seen, you know, at Rancho Bernardo, is just his ability to throw strikes. Again, he's not going to truly overpower you, but he certainly has a lot of nasty stuff that could do some damage. So we'll see. For the first time, collegiate appearance for the freshman as Dockin gets ready to go. Dockin working from the very left-hand side of the rubber as the first pitch to Timo Becerra. Big hack missing, 77 on the gun. No balls and a strike. 7, 8, and 9. Becerra, Bates, and Marsh due up in the top half of inning number 8. Cal State Fullerton down by 3. Becerra well early once more. Slashes that one in front of the Stanford dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. As for Becerra, 3 for 4. After getting on via fielder's choice back in the first inning. Back-to-back-to-back hits, all singles, 2 to center or 1 to left field. Every single time he's coming across, or at least getting on base, coming around and scoring. The 1-2 slash towards the third baseline and foul. Replay, 1 ball and 2 strikes for Brady Dockin. Final score for Ryan Folks. His day concludes going 1 1/3. 24 total pitches, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, all of which were earned, both of which were home runs, including a walk and 1 strikeout, facing 7 batters. A lot of pitching we've seen out of the Cal State Fullerton bullpen. Dylan Smith going 2 1/3. As for Gurney, going 2 innings, 1 1/3 for Goff. Likewise for Ryan Folks. As Becerra turns that one, and it goes right into the mid at Johnstone at third base for line out 5 for out number 1 here, the top half of the 8th inning. That was going to go ahead and bring up Charlie Bates. Bates 0 for 4. Last AB back in the 6th inning, flew out to Eli Lopez in center field. Bates has got a lot of power, has yet to use it here in this one. Big hack. A sliding effort goes in and out of Rosales' glove into the outfield and right field. A base hit for Charlie Bates. The Stanford Cardinal once again continue to get going here with the sticks. Brings up Tatum Marsh, and Marsh, you know, come in. Ryan Folks was the new pitcher, and the first pitch was absolutely tattooed deep to left field. A 3-run bomb to Marsh. First pitch, it was a check swing, goes off the barrel towards the end of the stick of Marsh. No balls and a strike. Deep breath from the right-handed hitter. The 0-1. Donkin uses his A move. Again, it's so efficient, right, about left-handed pitchers. You got two moves. Either you can kind of go at like a 45-degree angle, acting like you're going home. Said you can pick off the first, or you can just do a high leg kick and go just straight to first base. So a couple moves to work with. Technically, you have three if you think about going off the rubble, right? Just step off, try to throw a little bit of a off-balance throw, so to speak, but that could work possibly for Dockett. Donkin checks the runner on first. Nasty curveball. It's a slow dribbler to Rosales. Checks the runner on second. Decides to throw over to first in time. Bates will advance from first to second. 4-3 ground out for out number 2 here at the top of the 8th inning. Bringing up Court McDonald. Taking another look on ESPN Plus. Fundamental baseball, right? Rosales, good job staying low within the baseball with Bates, of course, taking off to second base. Doesn't get in the way. Allows to Rosales to make the clean 4-3 punch-out. Freshman looking sharp early, letting his defense do the work. Lefty-lefty matchup. McDonald likes to swing in the first pitch. That one well in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes for the left-handed hitter. McDonald 0 for 3 today, but still finds a way to get on base. Walked in his 4th plate appearance back in the 5th inning. Grounded out to Gomez at first. 6th inning. The 1-0. Slow grounder picked up by Gomez. He'll take it himself, and that will do it. 1 man left on base after 1 base knock from Charlie Bates. Stanford is scoreless for the 2nd time in this one as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Stanford up by 3. Kirshner, Lara, and Gomez due up when we return on ESPN Plus. It's crunch time here in Goodwin Field. Get ready to start playing the bottom of the 8th inning. 14-11 in favor of the Stanford Cardinal. Game 3 of this 4-game series. The finale will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, an afternoon matchup, as Mike said yesterday. As a reminder, here on campus, tomorrow is not a national holiday. That national holiday will actually be taking place on Friday. So that is when the campus will actually be closed. So President's Day, yes, is tomorrow. But still, Cal State Fullerton taking the day off the campus, however, taking the day off on Friday. Therefore, parking still applies here to Goodwin Field. Just so you're aware, if you're trying to come out to the ballpark, why not? Expect another big crowd, over 1,000 in attendance once more for the entirety of this weekend. Surely a matchup that you don't want to miss. First pitch to the left fielder, Andrew Kirshner. Fouls that one off. Kirshner, Lada, and Gomez. 5, 6, and 7 due up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 14 runs on 16 hits, 1 error, 11 runs on 9 hits, and no errors for Cal State Fullerton. The 0-1, Kirshner pops that one well high, but playable. Baseball carrying in foul ground now the 3rd baseline as Haskin makes the grab over there. So Haskins makes the grab in fair ground right behind the 3rd base bag for out number 1. Here comes Maddox Lada. Lada has reached Bates 2 out of his 4 plate appearances today. An RBI single. The bunt back in the 1st inning reached via fielder's choice, but also gets another RBI. Last AB line out to Becerra at short. O'Haron working from the stretch. First pitch at 92, missing outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The closer himself, of course, on more than one watch list as Lada pops that one well out of play in the Anderson family field. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lada batting .273, 3 runs, 2 RBI so far through 3 games in the 2025 season. Has 2 RBIs today, 1 for 4 in total. The 1-1. Lada fouls that one off near the Cardinal on deck circle. Replay 1 ball and 2 strikes. Isaiah Gomez awaiting on deck. Gomez 2 for 4, struck out swinging back in the 6th inning, including having an RBI single up the middle back in the 3rd inning. The 1-2. Lada puts a whole lot of this one. That baseball is carrying deep to center field near shy of the warning track as Bates makes the grab. 2 up, 2 down for O'Haron here in the bottom half of inning number 8.
It's interesting that O'Haron gets a 3-inning opportunity in the first game. And they do have somebody behind him, Aiden Keenan, sophomore righty.
We'll see how far they want to go with O'Haron. And why not? It's been one of those games, right, that, you know, it's a lot of runs. Cal State Fullerton trying to do all they can on the offensive side. And, you know, they've been productive for the first 3 innings, and then Sveshvak comes in, he shuts down the door. As for the righty, went 3 2/3, 51 total pitches, only giving up 1 hit and striking out 6 to the 13 batters that he's faced off. And so far for O'Haron, 1 2/3, giving up 1 strikeout with 6 batters faced, including only giving up 1 base hit. So again, Sveshvak shutting down the door for the Cardinal. This one hit to left field, a can of corn for McDonald and left, and that will do it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for O'Haron. Cal State Fullerton still scoreless after scoring at least a few runs in the first 3 innings. They're down by 3. Mike Martinez will finish this one out 14-11 in favor of the Stanford Cardinal on ESPN Plus.
Stanford in front here as we go into the 9th inning. 25 runs, likewise 25 hits. And Brady Dawkins, 6'3" lefty from San Diego, trying to give the Titans a chance to do something down 3 runs in the bottom half of the 9th. Trevor Haskins comes up once again for his 6th plate appearance. 1 for 5 in the game. Put bat on ball every time. A single and 1 batted in for Haskins. At this time here late in the game, I would be wrapping up kind of the numbers and tying the thing together as far as their series numbered, but we still have 1 more game tomorrow. Haskins 3 hits, 3 runs scored, and 1 batted in for the 3 games so far. Dawkins 1-1 is fouled out of play. Torrin O'Haron might be done. It might be Aiden Keenan's 9th inning, because O'Haron is down to the bullpen, just kind of horsing around. Deposited into left center by Haskins to end up with a 2-hit day. So O'Haron goes 2 innings, and it was a safe situation, but it looks like he'll be giving way to Keenan. One more chance for the Sunday crowd to see Rentaro Sasaki, who has made just 1 out today, going 3 for 4 with a walk. 2 singles and a double. Titans challenged him on the first one. A little bit of an off-speeder. Popped up off the left field line, and the third baseman, Carter Johnstone, Calls it in.
I really like what I'm seeing early from Dockin, right? I mean, again, some pressure on you. You're trying to do all that you can to just hold, the deficit to 3 runs. And again, I like the decision. Give the freshman a chance, right? In a crucial spot. You like what you're seeing from Dockin, and certainly putting his mark here in the Titan uniform.
Change up there to Charlie Somm. The Titans start him backwards as after he had a big time home run in the 7th. That was off Ryan Falks. Checking to see if we had a baseball out of the bullpen. No, it's something more of a umpire dugout thing. Maybe something coming out of the Stanford dugout was not sportsman-like or something. See David Esker right there. Long tenure at Cal and now at his alma mater. Great tenure at Stanford. Another off-speeder for Dockin, getting Somm to a 1-1 count. Somm, with that home run in the 7th, got off the schneid today. He's 1 for 5. 3 hits in the series. And 3 batted in. 1-1 in the dirt. Keep on giving him that slow stuff. Now the count is in the hitter's favor at 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Jimmy Nadai, who had 2 big games yesterday. Fastball runs inside, 3 balls and a strike. So we expect to see Aiden Keenan in the bottom of the 9th. He had 1 save last year. O'Haron had 7. But for today, at least, looks like they'll flip the roles. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Somm thought he might get another heater. But they had him off balance there. Full count, 1 out. Gomez holding on the runner. Not much of a move at first base by Haskins. And ball 4 to Charlie Somm. The Stanford hitting numbers are 14 runs, 17 hits, 14 knocked in, 6 walks, 7 punch outs, 8 left on base, a couple of homers. They have 3 homers today, Somm, Reynolds, and Tatum Marsh. Taking advantage of the daytime conditions here. Popped up on the infield in the direction of Maddox Lotta. That's the second out as Nadai completes a 1 for 5 showing. With a walk and the batter Brady Reynolds. He had the first Stanford home run, the first of the weekend for the Cardinal. Titans able to keep the ball in the park yesterday. And Negretti so far in the first 3 games has been the Titans' best pitcher. And just need a little bit more help offensively and defensively. Dockin hasn't looked too bad. Outside fastball there. Gets Reynolds a swing and a miss. Now let's go back through and maybe talk about who might be the second best Titan pitcher that we've seen today if we get a chance here. 0-1 now, and now 0-2. Derek Turner would be a candidate. He gave up a lot of hits in 4 innings, but only 1 run. His pitch count probably too high to bring him back this series. And Andrew Wright, in relief of Negretti, pitched 3 pretty solid innings. Fastball up high, 1-2.
I agree. And, both of those student athletes kind of came into the matchup, right, being down a lot. So just trying to eat up outs. And it was, just a tough situation to be in for any pitcher. But again, you're liking what you see, from the relief standpoint as Dockin wants to pick off the runner at second. But again, Jason Dietrich kind of seeing who he wants to possibly rely on when it comes, more so going into the bullpen. But a quality start for Negretti. So again, everything's up for grabs here in the pitching rotation, whether it's a starting pitcher or coming in the pen.
Breaking pitch there. Takes the count to 2-2 on Reynolds. Reynolds at 3 hits, looking for a fourth. 3 for 4 in the game. Has scored a couple of times, knocked in a total of 3 runs. And Reynolds has 6 hits in the series. 3 yesterday, 3 more today. But he's got a look in there as Dockin finishes it off with a strikeout. 2 innings by Brady Dockin, the Titan freshman from San Diego. 2 scoreless innings in the 8th and 9th. And now the Titans encounter Aiden Keenan. Another big day for the Stanford offense. Game 1, 13 runs, 18 hits, and Negretti and Wright held him down in Game 2. 6 runs on only 5 hits in the nightcap yesterday. But Stanford in the daytime, 14 runs, 17 hits, and they kept on going. Finally, Brady Dockin kind of stopped him in the 8th and 9th. Stanford had scored 6 times the first 7 innings. As you see on the line score there, it's tough when the other team is scoring. And Fullerton did score and keep pace early, had a lead. 11-6 was their largest lead. But Stanford has scored the last 8 runs of the game.
Small wins, right? I mean, compared to yesterday, a way better day for Cal State Fullerton, and now it just continued to work your way up, right? I mean, we saw some sloppy defenses performances, specifically in Game 2. No errors. We kind of see what this Cal State Fullerton team is made of. It's just one of those games that the pitching staff is just getting beat, and you just got to give credit where credit's due to the Cardinal.
There's a chance that Stanford is the best team the Titans face in a weekend series anyway. All season. They do have Oregon State in non-conference action, a weekend series in mid-April. And Oregon State is a top 10 ranking starting the season. Stanford surprisingly not, I mean, maybe not surprisingly because they didn't have a good year last year, but they brought it back a lot. You figured they're going to get better in the arms that were so young last year. So I'm surprised they didn't get maybe a little respect from the rankings. I mean, this weekend might change that as Logan Hart in a 2-1 count. Hart fouls back and the count is even. Logan Hart, first time playing this weekend for Fullerton, the Modesto College transfer. Working on his 5th plate appearance, 0 for 3 with a walk. Three and 2 to Hart. Takes base runners when you're down 3 in the 9th inning. So right on the edge of their seats, the Titans in the dugout. Has to put it in play right around the zone there. Becerra loading up. Hart can't quite beat it out. And Becerra has really handled his business at shortstop. I mean, the great veteran presence that we've talked about all weekend just hasn't really given up much. Sasaki on the other side for Stanford. Waldy Perez, number 9 hitter, due up, and instead we get Nick Miller. Miller, formerly of Fresno State and last year Yavapai Junior College. He'll be going seeing his old Bulldog mates next week when the Titans go to Fresno State. It's a Friday night opener. Saturday 3 o'clock, Sunday 1 o'clock. The Titans for the next 3 weekends are on the road. Fresno State, Wichita State, and Cal Poly to open Big West play. They do have 3 midweeks during that time. So a chance to get out here to see Fullerton in addition to tomorrow. Miller flat-footed there, fouls it off, and it's 0-2. So Stanford and Fullerton one more time tomorrow. From the stretch, Keenan. 94-mile-an-hour heater. Gets tagged away, foul. Nothing in 2. Slider outside. I don't know that Stanford's lowest velo pitcher might be like a 91. Yeah, all these guys, especially the Sunday guys, they've all thrown hard today.
Love to see it.
From Volchko to Dugan, Volchko especially. In the air to center. Bates is right there, and that's the second out of the inning as Nick Miller pinch hits and flies out.
And, you know, Cal State Fullerton has done a pretty well job of, you know, just keeping at it, right? I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, this pitching staff for the Cardinal, you know, throwing like around mid-90s. That's kind of where they average this season. But to see Cal State Fullerton, right, get the timing down, I mean, we've seen that all day today. It just more as at the end of the day, just it's one of those days where just Stanford just puts up more on the board.
Eli Lopez, top of the order, pops up the first pitch to Sasaki behind first. Sasaki puts it away, and Stanford takes the first 3 games of the 4-game set here at Fullerton with a big comeback, down 11-6. They were down 11-6 after 3 innings, came back with 4 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th for a 14-11 win. They can sweep this series tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Starters to be decided and announced. Stanford 3-0 on the young season. The Titans looking to scratch. One more chance to do it against Stanford tomorrow in a likely or potential bullpen game, potentially on both sides, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to expect, especially this early on into the season. I mean, both squads have been using their pitching staffs quite a bit, and it's been a little bit of a mix, right? It's been because, yes, they're getting behind, a lot of runs coming across, but also, again, the first series is key because that just allows guys get opportunities, get their feet wet, kind of get that rust off of the season. So it's a little bit of both. So I do expect a bullpen game, but, you know, again, for Cal State Fullerton, they're getting better. They're right where they need to be, but we'll see what's going to happen for tomorrow. But again, if they continue to get the offensive production early on, again, as the season progresses, we're going to see a lot of good coming out of that Cal State Fullerton roster.
It's time for the kids to run around the field. That's where I'm headed. I got two about to go down and circle the bases. We're getting out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. 1 o'clock start here at Fullerton. Pay for parking because it's not a campus holiday. 14-11, Stanford wins Game 3. All games airing on ESPN are archived and available on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.